Hello and welcome. It's the first ever content created by Last Call for Adventure. You guys are here first. We did it. Hopefully
Look at
this
that.
thing doesn't break.
Hashtag first.
Hashtag, yeah, let's go with that. Hashtag first. That sounds right. Jesse, do you have anything to add to this intro?
So happy to be here.
This is just on the spot.
Love it.
Energy
Jesse,
is
say
just
something now.
Fantastic.
it is
The
overflowing.
energy is wild. The people are crazed. This is episode 0 for Crew 1. I guess that's what we're calling this. There's a lot of things that we got to call things properly for the first time. Crew 1. It's Crew 1, right, Bronze?
I'm just here.
It's
I'm a hired gun.
Patreon content. We can be off the cuff, Bronze. You don't have to be all professional.
That's right.
Yeah.
I seldom am,
Yeah.
you know?
It's great. It's fantastic. I don't even know if we're going to have an MP3 version of this. I just thought about that first. Sorry, I'm in business mode.
Production mode. Yeah.
Yeah,
you're thinking ahead.
episode 0. We got to create a world, guys. We got to sit down, create a world, create characters because we're playing
Easy.
next Wednesday. That's the first time I've said that out loud. And that's some.
Just
some
gave
added
me
stress.
like a little diarrhea.
Yeah, it's a little stressful. You got to.
You know, and you just saying it like that, like next Wednesday, I'm like, ugh.
Yeah.
I
There's
was
a
like,
lot.
oh God, what day is today, man?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's Friday. We've got a handful of days. On Monday, we announced this whole thing. That's wild. Anyways, Bronze, why don't we start? Tell us a little bit about the world. Hell, tell us the world name, because I don't even know if I could tell you that, even though you shared it with me. And then we'll get to kind of like going into, I guess, some character creation. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Episode 0s are, we don't know what they are. We just know it's episode 0. It's a provocative name. Bronze, what's
Yeah,
going on with
yeah.
the world?
So, instead of starting with a whole world, we're actually starting with a small city. And I think we're going to build things out depending on how the different adventures with all of our different crews go. The city we're starting in is called Luftum, and it's a dizzying metropolis. There's airships everywhere. It's sort of a pinnacle and of engineering and the shared mental and scientific prowess of like some of the region's greatest inventors and magicians coming together and kind of settling down in this area in spite of the harsh conditions around. It kind of is like a city built on defiance. Now, the people who live in the center of this city live kind of cushy lives, especially depending on which area they live in. But the people who live near the fringes, it's a lot more Wild West. Think Firefly. There's still lots of wild animals. They still deal with issues from storms, and you're also sort of like in the in the foothills of a nearby mountain range called Leheragat. Now, there's mining expeditions that go out into these mountain ranges all the time, and a lot of times they don't come back. But the materials they bring back, the rare ores, crystals, and gems, are what power majority of the arcane inventions in this region. So it's a little steampunk. Now, because of the nature of the kind of work that's available in the city, people that aren't lucky enough to be inventors or scientists or politicians often end up taking up whatever job they can. Very relatable to real life, honestly. So it's a bit of a gig economy. And this is where different crews come in. Now, you get a license to freelance, and you might have different certifications on that license. So many of you might belong to one or more guilds. You could be in the Search and Rescue Guild. You could also be in the Bounty Hunters Guild. You might even be in the Flora and Fauna Requisition Guild, and their job is to sort of study the wild plants and wildlife in the region. And so you might find yourself rotating between one or more crews. In some crews, you might be the highest level person there. In other crews, maybe you're the lowest level person there. But this is the crew we have today. We have Jesse and Gassy and JP together in one crew. So I guess the first thing we have to ascertain is what kind of jobs do you think the four of you would go on together? Roughly, there are 5 kinds of jobs. I just went over a couple of them. There's search and rescue jobs. These are by far the highest risk jobs, because typically this is another crew went on an adventure, we didn't hear back, and someone has paid a very hefty sum of money for you to go and either recover the remains, rescue the adventurers. So because another crew has failed, usually these are the highest risk, highest reward kind of jobs. There's also cartography missions, which involve exploration and charting of places no one else has been to. Those are also pretty risky. Then we have bounty hunting. These could be anything from man-eating beasts to bandits, really. And then we have specimen capture. These are usually carried out by some of the scientists in the region. Typically, they're going to ask you for a very rare plant or a very dangerous creature that they want to study. And the last one is a rogue crew. Rogue crews are crews that kind of don't abide by most of the rules the other crews do. Usually they're either robbing, extorting, or kidnapping other crews that are out in the field for great profit. So those are the 5 types of overarching jobs that we're going to be starting with. I'm interested in hearing thoughts of if any one of those appeal to you. Also, the call froze for me, so I can't tell.
Oh,
I
you're
can't tell
good.
if you can hear me now or not.
Yeah,
we can
Okay,
hear you.
yeah,
cool.
we're fine. Yeah,
Still hear you. You're still moving.
Yeah.
All
You
good.
can't see us moving?
yeah, I guess not.
Oh.
I was like, I really hope I don't have to redo the spiel.
No,
The
we're
whole
good.
time you were doing the
We're good.
spiel, our faces were super animated. Wow. Ooh,
Yeah,
and
I
ahs.
was in
Wow.
shock. Yeah, it was like I just got a special Xbox for the first time I was opening it. You know,
Yeah,
I
imagine
was
that.
imagining what it would be like if that happened. Anyways,
It's neither here nor there. It's not.
yeah, I am down for whatever you guys are down for. I think
Such
choosing
a
the type
non-answer.
of choosing the type of mission does kind of, I think, play into what our characters would
Sure.
do.
Yeah.
And so since I don't
Yeah, which is
necessarily
why
have
this is kind of an atypical pitch,
Yeah,
because I feel like it helps you inform who you want to play. Because the last thing I want to do, which is how most session zeros go, is like you come in with this fully fledged idea of a character, and then you have a hard time figuring out how to fit them into the plot. In this case,
Right.
I'll be building a plot around what you choose, and you'll definitely have a skill set that'll come in use in our little mini series.
Sure.
So it's if you guys have, I know we talked a little bit before episode 0 just to get an idea of what people are thinking. Jesse, you kind of have loosely a character already, and I think Anne, you do as well. Me and Max I think Max actually does, talking to him like last week, has somewhat of a.
I had a
character.
loose idea of like a potential goblin character just because I've never played a goblin before, and it'd be fun to be a little scrappy goblin guy.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Yeah, I could go with that. But if you had an idea for something, and then a different role would be filled, by me, I'm moldable. I can figure something out in either case.
Well, let's let Jesse. He's the cogs are spinning in old Coxville. What do you got?
I mean, I think just based off of when you were going through the list of like possible adventures to go on,
Mhm.
I noticed a few heads like, ooh, when you mentioned what was it? The second one, it was exploration. Was that what it was?
Yeah, and cartography. Mm-hmm.
I feel like that could be fun because that's an open like. There is no. It's like go on an adventure.
There's no
Find
threat
some stuff.
outwardly.
Go see some things. Yeah, it isn't
Mhm.
very specified, which I think is kind of fun. It's just
Mhm.
like we all go out together and like look at the world, which I think goes very well with what my character would be into. So
Okay.
I don't know, but like
Yeah.
whatever worked for me.
I think that one, and then like I think it was maybe the third or so where you mentioned like either like studying or retrieval of like flora and fauna.
Mhm.
Kind of, I think knowing what characters or the kind of characters that I have heard us talking about before, I think that would kind of go along with it, maybe.
Mhm.
Is it all or nothing, Bronze, in terms of which type of crew we are? Or can like
No, no,
two
no,
people within the crew be, search and rescue, and 3 people
Yes.
or whoever the other groups being cartographers?
Yeah, it's definitely like the idea is that this is just the crew you're working with right now.
Okay.
Now, for some of you, this might be like your only crew, and for some of you, it might be like, Well, when the search and rescue jobs dry up, usually I'm a first responder, but when there's nothing to do there, I do cartography. Or, by
Mhm.
trade, I'm mostly a cartographer, but in this case, I'm going to, do this flora and fauna mission because that also falls within my interest. Or maybe it's my passion. It could be that you moonlight as something else, and then this is just the crew you're rolling with for now. And like I said, for some of you, this might be your main crew, because ultimately you'll belong to a number of guilds. And one of the sort of issues that a lot of freelancers deal with in this city is that moving up in the guilds is very difficult. The top tier guild leadership, the top brass, is usually like much higher rank than you are and is not eager to give up their spots, making
Mhm.
upward advancement very difficult for those of you that are on the bottom, which is why you have to take on so many different jobs from so many different guilds.
Okay.
Mhm.
Cool.
Heavily inspired by, my youth where I had to work 3 part-time jobs because I couldn't find one good full-time job.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Well, then I guess the question for the four of us, anyone feel super strongly? I know, Jesse, you said cartography, uh, and you were saying the third one, which I'm blanking on, was that search and
The
rescue?
Flora, fauna thing.
Oh, the flora fauna. Okay. All right.
both absolutely work with where my brain is with the character. So like,
Okay.
Yeah.
Max,
doesn't matter to me.
Kind
You
of
wanna
feels
be
like
the
that
sighting?
goes hand in hand, though. Like going around and
Mhm.
exploring. You would
Yeah.
also probably be charting flora and fauna as well. So
Okay.
there's some sort of combination of the two of them.
For sure.
Cool. So, like,
My question to you,
scientist
informing
passport.
just if I am a goblin or not, what are the goblins like in this world? If they had like in your world here in this city, like what's kind of like the outlook on them? I'm assuming usually they're looked down upon, kind of thing, physically and
Actually, the opposite. Goblins
Oh,
are in
interesting.
very high, are held in super high regard. Typically, goblins in settings have very low lifespans, but the goblins in this setting have found ways to increase their lifespan through
Hmm.
the study of magic, and meta magic specifically. So, some of the best magicians in this world, some of the best arcana users and lore experts are goblins. So it'd actually be interesting about why your goblin is not going to like a school and like why you are taking on crappy missions with all of the filthy humans.
Okay.
Might actually be something interesting to explore there.
So it's actually the flip of what I thought in terms of like the goblins being more in higher regard and the humans being like the lower filthy ones.
Well, it was something
You
interesting
said it. You
specific.
said filthy humans.
No, I did. You're right. No, I did. My Warhammer nerd popped out with filthy humies. But
Yeah,
yeah,
humies.
but yeah, basically, they've found ways to live beyond their very, very short lifespan. So it's
Okay.
not uncommon to see goblins that have like crazy augmentations. If you're familiar with Warhammer, very AdMech style. They figured
Okay.
out ways to compensate for their small stature, and kind of give themselves an advantage.
Okay. Okay.
Still feeling strongly about the goblin, then, Max?
Yeah, and now, do you have an idea of what you were going to do? I'm very reactionary with a lot of stuff.
I would say that I will fill it. Like, I'll be the truest fill in the gaps moment. If Jesse is playing, he talked to us before the show. He was kind of leaning towards barbarian, and I think Anne is kind of leaning towards some sort of spellcaster. Is that correct, Anne?
It could be interesting,
Yes.
yeah, to play a goblin that is like we're explaining why he's not as high regarded, and has a chip on his shoulder for that reason because he's on these crews. So I think I'll probably go with goblin. I have an
Okay.
idea for a character already, and it's adaptable for now that I know more about the city and the world and stuff. So
Are you thinking more?
don't know class.
Yeah, that's my next question. If we're doing, I would assume some sort of like Holy Trinity type deal. If Jesse's
Sure,
going tank,
I am open to
Yeah,
Anne's
Anne's
whatever.
going like
Jesse
Anne-
sounds like he's doing tank. Yeah.
So we need healer, we need damage, like pure damage, pure healer, or hybrid of both. So that kind of narrows it down a teeny tiny bit.
There's a huge university in Luftum, so if you wanted to play like a goblin school dropout, you could definitely have some magic in your repertoire, but
Yeah.
you know, if you wanted to go that route, or it could be, oh, you know, your character has no acumen with magic, and so therefore you're like, you know, completely
I
melee
think a
based. It
goblin
really
school
could be either
dropout would
way.
work.
Cool, yeah.
Kind
So
of
I
fits in
think
line
like
with what I had in mind for, like I said, you delve more into that as we explore the character, but like being, you know, explaining why he's not as high regarded. If he just dropped out for some reason, maybe something happened, or maybe he just didn't agree with the,
mm,
you know, the school's morals, principles, whatever.
mhm.
Principles in multiple ways. This is a school.
Yes.
So are you
So does that mean your character's a little on the younger side?
Yes, I would say so.
Cool.
I don't know what would be
That's
considered then
good
young for
positioning
this
too.
world as a goblin.
It's kind of I kind of personally homebrewed it to be similar to like a human lifespan.
Okay.
So with the advances they've made, like you would probably being a college dropout, yeah, you would probably be like in your early 20s.
Sounds good. That works for me. That'll work really well, actually.
Bronze, are you
It's gonna
allowing
be fun.
Yeah.
are you allowing changelings as a race?
Yeah, we can do changelings.
Kind of want to be a changeling, but I don't want to go the like evil route that all changelings would, I
Mm.
think, go for. I don't know if
Okay.
you've even thought of them as a race or a entity in the world, but changeling seems like it could be fun.
Yeah, no, they are super fun. They're one of the legacy classes, right?
I'm looking at the one from the Mordenkainen Monsters of the Multiverse, but if I look on
Oh, okay, gotcha.
oh yeah, so there's two types. There's that one, and then there's the one in Eberron. Would you
Oh,
prefer the
yeah.
Eberron version?
Yeah, that one would probably I haven't looked at I think I've only looked at the Mordenkainen's one and the legacy one.
Yeah,
Um,
so that one is so it's racial wise, it's +2 charisma, +1 to 1 other ability score, shape changer, and changeling instincts. And the other one,
to say you can shapeshift into like any other person, right?
yeah, I think it's any other creature that you've seen. But and the other thing is, I don't think your clothes go with you. Like your clothes are beholden to your like your true
Yes.
form.
Yeah, so if you were to change into like Jesse's character, you would just be Jesse's character in your clothes though, or
Yes.
in your armor. Yeah.
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 Okay.
I'm okay with the changeling. Are you okay with being Fae?
That was the other question. The only ones that are Fey are the ones from Mordenkainen. I don't think, at least
Yeah, so
for the other ones, they are
for
not.
for our world, the Fae they might be angry about this city, especially because of the way they've kind of been ruthlessly exploiting nature. Um, so that's something to think about. I
Okay.
will also say, you'd probably be the inverse of Max's character in that most people have probably never met a Fae here. Like
Okay.
everything they've read about is you would be a little bit like a cryptid. Everything they know about Fae is highly theoretical in nature, and most people have not visited the Feywild or had interactions with Fae people.
Okay. It's
So, like, if
definitely
you were
something
to
that like drew. There's so many races now to play in D&D.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
there's
Really are.
an
There really are.
absurd
There's a lot
amount
of
of
options.
races to
That's
play.
why it makes it hard, you know, just coming from blank nothing. And you're like, what do you want to play? I'm like, I don't
Yeah,
know.
I mean,
This is so much.
There's like
You could be
Furbogs, Genasi, Githyanki. Yeah, no, there's so many.
you could be a rabbit person, you could be a fish person, you could be a lizard person, you could be a sea elf, you could be a I don't know. So
and
many
now we have
things.
Spelljammer, so you can be a plasmoid.
Yeah, I could be a plasmoid. I could just be a giant gelatinous, whatever creature. That's why I was saying, like, oh, also you're allowing. We should maybe go over what are you not allowing. Let's do that, just so people are aware of like.
For the most part, during character creation, I will allow just about everything.
Okay.
It's when it comes to spells that I start to crack down.
Okay.
Obviously, everything from the PHB is allowed, everything from Tasha's is allowed, and everything from Xanathar's is allowed. outside that, spell wise, it's kind of like on a case by case basis, because some of those like extra compendiums, when you start looking through them, kind of get a little broken depending on what world you're playing in. But that being said, if there's something that you really want, we can go for it. But for like race and class, I'm okay with like just about everything.
Because I don't even know. Like you said, plasmoid. I don't even know what that would. Like, what does that even? What does that even mean? Do I just like leave a trail of?
You're basically
plasmoid
Alex
goop?
Mack. Yeah, you can. Yeah, you're basically like in a humanoid form because you choose to be, but you don't have to be. You can literally like turn into a puddle and really do whatever the hell you want. Yeah. So like for some DMs, it's like, oh, that's like game breaking. For the game I've built, like that's not going to be game breaking. Neither will shape changing.
Okay.
It'll really just affect like maybe how you're perceived. In your case, like people aren't going to hate you because I don't think that that's fun to role play, but you would be like maybe the first fae a lot of people have met. They might think you're an elf with a skin condition. Like you know what I mean? Like
Depending on how
they
smart
might
they
have
are,
names
yeah.
too. Yeah.
Sure.
Well, is it possible then? God, my voice. Is it possible then that based on kind of where I'm at mentally, that maybe JP and my character would have come to the city to be like, what the hell is going on with y'all?
Yes.
We're from the
Why
wilds.
are you coming to the forest?
Hmm.
Cut it out.
It's funny because I just tweeted like, oh yeah, I tweeted this like picture of a giant turtle, a giant snapping turtle. And I was like, this is why I put these in like every single campaign. So like, actually, Jesse, I was excited when you said you wanted to play a turtle because like turtles are a prominent race in this setting. And there's even like a living, breathing turtle god that like or demigod that still exists in the mountains by a glacial lake.
Nice.
So like you could have even had dealings with this deity, should you so wish.
Okay. Yeah.
But he
yeah,
sleeps
I'm
like
on-
98% of the time.
Me too. This is perfect. This is so good. Yeah, I want to be a old ass turtle barbarian who has come down from the mountains like, what y'all doing? Why are you coming into my home? I live there. Yeah. Oh, I'm ready. Great.
Well, then,
I love Tortle Barbarian.
yeah, turtle barbarian. I
Excited for
always
that.
sided on like the idea of intellect and a turtle, but no, you're going pure.
Not only
No,
Tortle
he is-
Barbarian, old Tortle Barbarian.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Expect slow talking, slow walking, slow. Everything's going to be just.
And it's converse to what I'm doing, which is probably a young little shithead goblin.
But here's the thing.
perfect.
Bronze stated that the crews know each other for the most part. So like
Sure.
you guys aren't gonna Bronze, correct me if I'm wrong. We're not gonna start off in the bar with like not knowing.
You want to start in a bar?
Yeah, we're not gonna
Yeah,
we're gonna
odds
know
are-
of each other.
One or both of you, probably Anne or Max, have worked together before and have
Okay.
put out like a call. And so like in our first game, it would be sort of understood that like the turtle and the changeling have been hired. So
Okay.
you might not know each other very well, but it's understood that you are going on a job together. Maybe you put it on a bulletin board and this was just the best you could get. Or in the case, since we're going exploration, maybe they're familiar with the region you're going to.
That would work, yeah.
And then, of course, Jesse, your reasons for going are really your own. It could be like maybe you need the coin, maybe you want to see how these crews operate from the inside. It really could be. And honestly, if you did want to go for Changeling JP, that could definitely be how you know Jesse's character.
Okay. Or maybe Jesse knows me as another turtle, but I'm not.
Yeah,
That'd
maybe
be
I've heard
so
wonderful
mean.
See, but that
stories of
I
like,
have fallen into that pigeonhole too many times where I become the like the guy with secrets. So I'm trying to decide if I want to
Secrets.
have secrets in this or just be like openly.
That would be so fucked up if you've just been a fake turtle this entire time.
My best friend.
Yeah, it's
we
my
were
best
married
friend.
for 6 years.
We're married.
You didn't tell me. I think, without creating a story for you, I mean, like, the pieces are there,
Mhm.
though. Like, having
Yes.
people come from the
100%.
mountains, like a goblin
Mhm.
who's, like, powerful.
Mhm.
It makes sense to be like, "All right, we'll go on a quest to explore or to get flora, fauna, to make sure you don't kill it."
Take it.
Like,
Yeah.
that
And
kinda
then
it's all
destroy
Mhm.
it.
like, it makes perfect
Yeah.
sense to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I
Um,
like it. This is the best kind of session 0, right? Like, because we're kind of creating a story that everyone's invested in together, and instead of trying to find reasons for your characters to have a plot hook to the story, you've kind of developed your own plot hooks, making
Yeah.
my job
Mhm.
easier.
right. Uh,
What?
and throw it to you real quick. Does that all sound good? Are you all on board with that?
I think so. Yes.
Okay.
It's possible
I'm
too that maybe we know each other. So if we're not going to be, the ones from coming from the mountains, kind of thing, can or cannot. It depends on whether you'd rather be introduced as unrelated or
yeah.
untied. That's more up to you. I'm cool either way.
Yeah, I'm not really sure to be honest. I just kind of was listening to what everybody was saying and thinking about like
Hmm.
the like character motivations or like origins, I suppose. And trying to think about like how that would work for me.
You don't need
Um
everything too figured out now. Too.
Absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
There's no pressure like that.
that's true.
Sometimes it kind of
I
like
mean,
rolls,
if
but other times you're
yeah.
like, I'm going to see what you guys are doing. And then, I'll take a little bit of time to think about that,
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
if you wanted to play a magic user, we could even have you kind of be the foil to Max's character and that maybe you're actively enrolled. So
Oh,
you're
Oh,
in
like
yeah.
still
college.
learning and growing and he's already
Mhm.
dropped out, but that could be how you know each other. You could be
Yeah.
like the college student
Right.
with a part-time job and he's the stoner dropout. I don't know, not to like put words in your mouth, Max.
Well, if you want a little more insight to where I'm thinking with him, he's like
Mhm.
dropout, but he's stubborn. I think he's bright, but with issues with being, obviously I'll determine what those issues are that caused him to drop out.
Mhm.
Perhaps he found that maybe the classes were moving too slow. They were guarding too
Mm.
much actual, like he knew the knowledge was there and he was capable, but they were, stopping him from that. So very kind of angsty, young 20
Yeah.
something who thinks they know
Do
a
you
lot
think
more.
he
And
would
maybe to
take
an extent he does,
shortcuts?
but what's that? Oh,
Do you think
absolutely.
he would
100%.
Yeah? I think we should go with you as a warlock then. Like maybe you like
Sounds
decided
great.
to create an unholy pact to get a shortcut. Maybe that's why you were expelled because they were like, "No,
Sounds
this is a school of
great.
sorcery and wizardry. You need to get the fuck out." We could even circle it full back and say you took a pact with Jesse's turtle god. Granted, that would
God
be a
would never
very
do such a
different type
thing.
of warlock if in as opposed to like, an infernal entity.
Hmm.
So
Oh, man.
if he does something like that, I was kind of thinking if we need like a healer character, you mentioned that
Mhm.
there's like the outskirts of the city. Um and I was thinking that my character could be coming from that like working with the people that are disenfranchised, I suppose, as like a healer
Mhm.
and like I don't know how that would tie in with the group, I guess. Um
No, I like that. I like this idea of like a community healer. Um,
right.
yeah. And then
And
we
then
just have to
maybe
figure
going
out
like with this group as a way to get more I don't know knowledge about how to be a better healer and
Mhm.
how to use like uh the like native elements and flora and fauna to like create healing potions or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I
that
that makes
love
total
sounds
that. I
sense.
love that.
Getting
That's
outside the
really
scope of
solid.
like what you usually know to become a better healer, but obviously there's other
Right.
repercussions of it because it's more dangerous, et
Mhm.
cetera, et cetera.
that sounds like a
Yeah.
druid to me. I don't know about you, Anne, but does druid sound like something you want to play as a healer?
Yeah, I would say druid, or if you wanted to be like a sort of reskinned artificer because they make a lot of infusions and
Mm,
kind of use alchemy, you could go that route as
Mm.
well. Although, I'd have to look into like how much artificers can heal, but like druids do have more innate healing ability.
yeah. And there's also cleric, bard, paladin, depending on what you're interested
Mhm.
in. And don't let us make the
Right.
decisions for you.
Okay.
Jesse, What is that laugh?
I'm trying to figure out what kind of background my character has. And
Like
I noticed
mechanically?
that yeah, and I'm trying to think of like what a like a turtle coming to the city, then going back out into the wilds would do. And I discovered that under Outlander is like a guide. You can become a guide, and I think it'd be hilarious if the slowest person and like the oldest person is like, "Come on, follow me," and it's just like really slow.
God.
It made me laugh. I don't know. I just had the visual.
I will say you can fall into the trap of that very easily, Jesse. So just be careful.
Yeah,
As
I'm
long
not-
as
I'm
you
just
don't,
looking,
as long as you
trying to
don't view it as a trap, I guess, then it's fine.
Yeah, I'm just like looking for a good time. I mean, come on, this dude's gonna pull a Yoda. You know what's gonna? He's gonna rage and then start spinning and flipping, and you know what's gonna happen. Come on now.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, then that kind of
I
opens.
feel like you're gonna drive Max's character insane. He's gonna be
That
like, "Hurry up,
is
hurry up,
my
hurry up, hurry up,
goal.
hurry up, hurry up."
Bronze. We knew that
I
from the
want
start.
that
young
goal.
We
goblin.
knew that the second that Jesse said yes to this whole project.
Yeah.
That was going to be
As soon as-
his plan.
Well, as soon as the cards are starting to fall into place too, and he said he was old first, and then you mentioned that, you know, it makes sense. Maybe he might be a dropout, younger. I'm like, oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you have any sort of do you have any in your world? I mean, I know there's like suggested goblin type names. Is there any restrictions on
No, go
what
ham.
should be? Okay.
Yeah, you can
His
kind of
name's
pick
gonna be
whatever you
Blibble.
want.
He goes by Blibble.
Yeah. That was so that's not a on the spot name. Max told me that a while
No.
back. I'm glad you're able to use it.
Yeah, it makes sense too. Perfect for like a young
Yeah.
kind of
Blibble.
shithead goblin, I guess. I don't want to say shithead.
There-
That might be too mean.
Is there any?
No, that
a-
actually,
at
like-
all.
I'm sorry, what?
Is there any at
naming
all naming
conventions?
conventions?
That's
Yeah,
why I was
anywhere?
asking. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess I should say there's a few. One is that you're not typically given a last name until you graduate, like from a guild. So like Blibble not having a last name is actually like on point because
Nice.
until you like, you know, gain mastery of a certain type of magic, maybe then you would be Blibble Fire Warder. But right now you don't have anything. So you kind
Perfect, because I already
have a
was
last
just going to have him
name.
just be Blibble. There would be no
Yeah.
last name.
So
Would-
in your case, Jesse, since you're from the wilds, like the stuff I had written down, and like I said, feel free to deviate from it because we can always come up for a reason for why that is. But a lot of turtles, obviously you have your family name, but your family name is usually based off of like rocks. So you might have a last name of like igneous or basalt or something like that. And your first name could be like, you know, a more common like European name like John.
John Igneous, the turtle barbarian. I
Down
love
the
it.
rabbit hole I go.
I
I
love it.
cannot wait. All right.
Just as a
I
quick,
like the idea of like old timey names just because no one's been to the mountains in forever. And so like it's like-
Gertrude
Yeah.
Igneous.
Helmut.
Theodore.
Yeah, the other thing, and I'll actually need this from the three of you. Bronze, if you're okay with me showing your art that we had made.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna have someone do inkings rather of all the characters, and I'll need descriptions probably by the end of today so that we can have it done by next, hopefully next Tuesday, next Wednesday. But it'll look something along these lines. So this is
Cool.
JP
Bronze.
surprised me with this, by the way.
Yo!
Yeah, I had no clue he was doing this, and then I saw him and was like, "What?"
Is this the same guy that did it before?
Yes,
different one.
yes, it is, Max.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah, very similar
I
style.
want to say his name is Stokes, right?
Yep, Dave Stokes is the
yeah,
the
he's
artist for
great.
this.
Oh, good.
He's really good.
Yeah, definitely check him out. We'll have
That's really cool.
time lapses. So this took
feel like I
him
need
an hour and a
30
half to
rings.
make.
Like an Indian
mhm.
uncle now.
Yeah,
You
so
know,
this
like,
will
I
be
feel like I
available for
gotta-
patrons. The time lapse of this, where he draws in a real time, which is fascinating to watch because it's one of those things where I watched it. I'm just like, yeah, I wish I had like an ounce of that skill and ability.
Well, then I guess for the purposes of what Blibble might look like, is there any sort of thing that would influence the way he would look if he was like some sort of in this world? I mean, like, you know, because they said
Mhm.
that they're higher regarded and stuff.
You might still have your uniform if you haven't gotten rid of
maybe
it in
maybe
Defiance.
modified uniform. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Modified
There
uniform,
is
maybe a little
like
more
a
grungy punk.
yeah,
In
yeah. There
defiance
is
of
like a
that of
sort of there is a uniform that also denotes like which school you're going to within the university, like whether you're going to the school of necromancy or whether you're going to the school of like, Lorcana or something like that.
Mhm.
So do you think you have an idea of like what school your character would have been going to prior to dropping out and like taking a warlock pact?
So I haven't played a warlock before, so I'm kind of at the I don't want to say mercy,
Mm,
but I'd rather get some input from you and what might work.
yeah, for sure. So like warlocks are very interesting because they have a very small spell list and they have
Mhm.
even fewer spell slots,
Great, love
but
that.
they're kind of powerful in the early stages of the game in my opinion because their base
Mhm.
damage and their base health is actually quite high. Um, the Eldritch Blast combo with the charisma base modifier is really good. But in general, how they differ from, like, say, a wizard is somebody that reads books, attains all this knowledge, and then wields magic in a way that suits them. Warlocks are kind of chained to their patron, to the
Mhm.
deity that they've, like, sworn their allegiance to. And sometimes, depending on who your patron is, that patron will fuck with you. So they could ask you to do stuff or, it might be a contract you initially signed willingly, but now you want out and you can't get out. And your
Mhm.
patron highly also influences what kind of spells you have and what kind of warlock features you have. So the biggest thing about warlocks is they have like like invocations. They have warlock invocations and sort of pact features and pact bonuses, and that'll be a majority of your kit. So if you were to say have like the turtle god as your patron, that would probably be a fey patron, which would give you access to like more healing spells, more even transmutation spells in the sense like you could probably modify the way you look and stuff versus if you were to have a great old one like Cthulhu be your patron, then you get access to a lot of psychic damage spells and you get access to things that are more eldritchy,
Okay.
including things like cloak of shadows or spells like that. So the patron is going to heavily influence it. Whereas like wizards get access to a lot more. They have a lot more available to them. Your
Yeah,
scope
I
will
like the
be
fact that it's
a lot more
less,
narrow.
honestly, because I part of the reason why I played a wizard once before or
Mhm.
sorcerer. Um, having too many spells and trying to figure out which spell slots to prepare for that day, that's always going to be annoying for somebody like me.
Yeah, and this you don't prepare spells. You have the same
Perfect.
spell list every single time you
Love it.
play.
So this is a
You're gonna
mage
have
user for
like
me.
yes, yes. You're gonna have like one spell slot forever, and the rest of the time you're gonna be using cantrips.
Mhm.
But the cool thing with warlocks is they recover their spell slots on a short rest
Okay.
versus the long rest.
A long
So
rest. Yeah.
they're
Right.
kind of yeah, so they're kind of cracked in that regard, but they usually only have 1 or 2 spell slots until they're like level 15.
Okay.
Yeah, so the big thing is like since it would be a matter of figuring out who your patron might be.
Right.
Um
I don't know if it would be the turtle god. That would be cool, like lore wise, to do it. Especially if
mhm.
Anne's going to go the healer route. Might make sense to do you know, some other thing.
Yeah, I think, like, looking at it so in addition to, like, the normal warlock spells, you would get fairy fire, sleep, calm emotions. So it'd be, like, a very different kind of warlock. You would also get misty, escape, and then which means you can like I was saying, a lot of those, like, fey type things, you can turn invisible, you can teleport, you are immune to being charmed, um, and that'll be, like, stuff you get later on.
Hmm.
Um But I'm trying to think of something that would, like, make sense for your character too. Um, mm, a lo I honestly,
Especially if he was looking for
a
something that
lot
was
of
like,
these fit.
narrative wise, if he was trying to get access to more power
Yeah.
quicker, right?
Yeah, yeah. Um, I feel like the Fiend would be a good one, and that is like lower planes entities. So like Asmodeus, Belial, Baphomet. It would be, and it doesn't have to specifically be any one of those, but we could say that you made a pact with like a demon or a devil,
Mhm.
and that would get you like spells like Burning Hands, Scorching Ray, stuff like that. If
Mhm.
that seems like more your speed. We could also do a djinn if you want it to be like a pact of the genie, and it could be like you
Ooh.
wished for more power and that backfired. You thought you were gonna be like a
Yes.
really
I
high
like that a
powerful
lot more.
wizard,
Is that why you
and then
dropped
they
out?
fucked
Like
with
you wished
you.
for it or something?
Yeah, yeah, and they're like, "Oh, you wanted to be a powerful wizard, but really you ended up with." And then from there, you just have to choose like what type of element you would prefer for the genie to be, because there's earth, air, fire, and water, and depending on
Mhm.
which one you choose, that'll influence what kind of spells you get access to.
Okay.
Yeah, I can link you a thing if you. Yeah, 'cause there's. Sorry.
Hey, Jesse, random question while Bronze is looking for that.
Yeah.
What languages do you speak?
I just was talking before we started this. I was just talking with Bronze about this. So a turtle has common and then one extra language, and I asked,
What's your one? A,
what's like a plant language? And there was one, but I'd have to spec into it. However, Sylvan is what I chose, I believe, because that allows me to talk to like Fae and various people, and that works great for you.
okay, great. I'll choose Sylvan as well then. I get two
Look
languages,
at
so I'll go
us
Sylvan.
coming together.
Okay,
Sylvan
I
and
get one
something.
too, but I don't know if we should all choose the same thing.
That's up to you. It could be a cool RP thing that you speak a brand, like maybe you speak Celestial for some reason, and there's a connection for you to speak Celestial, or you could speak the same
Yeah, I
language
mean,
as
like,
us. It doesn't matter.
I would imagine Gassy, for example, would have like some sort of like, I don't know, demonic, eldritch, some sort of language if you're talking to,
The
or like a
powers that
djinn
be.
language or something
Yeah.
like that. So if you're talking with that person,
Yeah.
so I don't know, like it's whatever makes you happy.
And it comes down to, do you want to be able to understand me and Jesse when we speak in Sylvan and try to hide things from you? Or do you want to have your own way to hide
That is
things from
something.
us?
Yeah, it's something to think about.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's also just like what's gonna make the most sense, I guess, in the terms of
Are you
the universe, I guess.
are you dead set on playing a Kinku? Is that the race you're going with?
I guess so. I mean, if it fits and it works with the
I think
you know,
anything works. So it's
I think
if
it
you're
works.
happy with it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
sure.
Especially because
Yeah,
this
why
is
not?
like our first crew, our inaugural crew. So in some ways, like you'll be setting like what the lore is, you know, in
Right.
a really cool way, and influencing like, yeah, in that way. I sent you, by the way, Max, the genie
Yeah,
table,
I saw it. I'm
and
looking
that'll tell
through.
you, yeah, like depending on what type of genie you made a pact with, you'll basically get like spells related to that element. And to be clear,
Yeah.
the spell level is the level of the spell slot, not what level you are. So, um, yeah, you're not gonna be getting access to the 3rd level spells because you don't have those as a 3rd level warlock.
Bronze, quick question for you. What is the who are the or let me see how I want to phrase this. What language do the rulers of this city speak?
Ooh, good question.
Dwarvish.
Dwarvish is the highest of the high in the hierarchy. Okay.
Yeah, they're like the big architects of the city, and so Dwarvish is kind of the prevailing language.
Okay.
Mm.
Common is a language of commoners in my
Right.
setting.
Okay. But we all speak
Yeah.
common, right? Like everyone will generally speak.
Yes.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's for me, it's common, Sylvan, and then Dwarvish is what I'm going to go with language wise. I don't know if that makes anyone's decision or changes it, but that's what I'll go with.
Hmm.
I think I'm gonna play a paladin, so we have like some healing and some more like, but then no, I guess that puts us at 2 melee. Max will be ranged as a warlock, and if Anne plays pretty much any healer, she can be kind of whatever. She can be in the mix or be ranged as well. Just depends on what she wants to do.
With a warlock and barb too, though, that's just a lot of like those are both meaty classes. Like the Warlock typically has like
A lot of HP.
the highest hit points
Yeah.
of any other spellcaster. So that is like a pretty meaty team right there. And same thing with Barbarian. So you really could go any way you wanted to, JP.
I was just thinking since power game at the changelings get charisma, and so it's either bard, warlock, or
Oh,
paladin in terms of being a charisma being an important
Yeah.
stat. And since we
Yeah.
already have a warlock, I don't want to play that. I don't want to play a bard
Mhm.
because then everyone's gonna be like, "How does he sing?" I'm not singing.
I would like to know that actually.
No, I'm not singing. I'm
How
not
does
falling.
he sing?
I'm not falling into that trap. So he's a paladin. But then we'll see. We'll see. what
Well,
happens
they
there.
have the College of Elocution now, which is basically that's my character in Acquisitions Incorporated is basically a debate bard. So you could
So wait, how do you debate people into like what? How does that work?
Yeah, like because I mean, there's so many different classes of bard now, JP. So you can be like a College of Swords bard where you've like extensively studied the art of war, or you can be like what is it, the silver class sub or silver tongue class where like you're just manipulative and shitty. And then there's there's bards that are centered around debuffing the enemies instead of
Instead of
buffing your
buffing your team.
friends.
Okay.
Yeah, which is like where the debate bard comes in, is like they throw the enemy. They basically have the opposite of inspiration die, where instead of like
Interesting.
rolling at a bonus, they make other people roll at a and subtract a d8 from the roll. So
And the world
you
of
could go that route.
in the world of paladins, how many new things are there? Or is it pretty much the same cookie cutter stuff?
I never play paladins.
I never do either. I think I've played maybe once.
You never play paladins?
I don't think I did. I don't think
No, I'm
Bronze
saying
does
to
either.
bronze. That's because what?
Yeah, no, I almost never play.
I'm saying it doesn't surprise me at all. Is what I'm saying.
Oh, really? What do you think my most played class is, Max?
I don't know enough of all the classes to know. Honestly,
Fair.
I'd go
Fair.
monk.
Warlock.
Monk.
Warlock.
You're not incorrect. But it's because of the reasons it's because of the reasons Max said. You don't have to prepare your spells. You kind of just
Yeah.
have, like so I feel like Warlock for me gets played the most because it's the best for like jumping into a game, or like for a mini series. Because then I can just like kind of lock and load, versus like who's gonna sit there and select spells for, a one
yeah, I did
shot.
that before,
Not me.
and it works for this.
Could be useful and make sense in like the city to speak undercommon.
Oh yeah, especially with where you are. Yeah,
Right. Okay. Then I'm gonna go with that.
with the areas that you're coming from. Yeah,
Right.
I was more saying
I guess
just
the
what I know.
biggest changes to the world of paladins, JP, that I know of is not all of them are religious now.
Yeah,
And
that's
there's
kind of what I
some-
was seeing as well. I don't want
There's
to play
some
religious.
bad guys that are paladins too. So like, the only ones I'm familiar with off the top of my head are like, there's like the Oathbreaker, that are like paladins that no longer serve a higher power. And then there's like Oath of Conquest. I also think there's like Sailor Paladins now.
There's Oath of the Ancients as well, which might fit lore wise with what Jesse was kind of rocking. Because it shares,
Pulling
it's
it
more
up.
like nature and that,
Oh, they're Fey Knights. Okay.
yeah. That might be kind of fun. There's Oath of the Crown, Oath of the Watchers. I won't go Oath of the Watchers though.
Oh, and then your channel divinity is Nature's Wrath. That's kind of cool.
Or I go Bard.
You
I
can
don't know.
use your channel divinity to invoke primeval forces to ensnare a foe. As an action, you can cause spectral vines to spring up and reach for a creature within 10 feet of you that you can see. They have to
Kinda cool.
succeed on a strength or dex throw or be restrained. That's kind of cool.
You said we're 3rd level, right? So we'll get our subclass?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, so you will have speak with animals and ensnaring strike. Not to metagame, but having speak with animals would probably be very useful with the mission you're thinking of, like going
Right, well,
on.
if we're going to go look for fauna and flora and fauna, yeah.
Yeah. And then if you went Bard. There's like a ton of cool new Bard subclasses.
Let me pull it up.
Oh, you could even go College of Whispers. I forgot they exist. They like talk to dead people and spirits, and they
Huh.
can channel spirits to terrify people. Or is that the College of Spirits? One of those two. There's a ghost college, and then there's another.
There's College
Oh
of
yeah,
Spirits,
okay.
yeah. I'm looking
And then
at that.
College of Whispers is like they're secret dealers and spies.
As third level, as a third level warlock, do I just then? You mentioned that I know you wouldn't get access to the third level spells. Is it just first then, or is it second?
You get second
Uh,
level, I think, at 3, right?
Yeah.
And then third level at
Let me
5.
see.
That helps influence then which genie I go to, to see what spells I'll have.
Yeah, so your slot level at level 3 is second. So you'll be able to cast second level spells. And you have 2 spell slots, and a total of 4 spells.
Okay.
College of Spirits doesn't seem bad. What do they? What is the? How do they? How do I not sing? That's the question.
Yeah, you wouldn't
I
have
don't
to
know why
sing
you're
as
on
a
this
College
not
of
sing
Spirits
thing. I
bard.
don't know. I think you have a wonderful voice. I'd love to hear more of it.
Mhm.
So, like, College of Spirits, their big thing is that they're all about collecting stories, so that would explain why you came to the city. Um,
Hmm.
and that's also how your, like, bardic inspiration die works, is, like, you tell a story, and then you roll on a table, and that makes things happen. And you can also I don't know how to describe it, like yeah, you can basically, like, harness, like, ghost and spirit energy to make things happen. So, like, when you tell stories, you basically summon spirits, and you can't always control, like, what those spirit tales are, which is why you have to roll on a table. So it's kind of like a wild surge in that regard.
Right.
Um,
Okay. I
yeah,
mean,
'cause
I might do that. That sounds interesting.
Bronze, is this square with your world? I decided I would pick a hermit because that seemed like something a
Mhm.
turtle in the wild would have. And then I just rolled for everything, and this is what I got, and I just want to see if it like gels. All right. So I rolled in my life of seclusion, I rolled that I was a caretaker of an ancient ruin or relic, and then I rolled that my personality traits were I'm utterly serene even in the face of disaster, and I feel tremendous empathy for everyone who's suffering. But then I rolled everything I do for the greater good. So I'm out there trying to like make things better.
Yeah.
But my bond is that I have some like great insight into what is no oh yeah my bond is that my isolation gave me great insight um into some evil that only I can destroy, and then my
Uh-huh.
flaw is that I harbor bloodthirsty dark thoughts that meditation has failed to quell. And so my question
That that
is it
fits so perfectly with the barbarian though, because I was like, if you're constantly serene, how are you gonna rage? But
yeah, I'm curious, is it possible then, based on what I just rolled, that I'm like a chill ass old turtle living his life, trying to
yeah,
do good, but he's the secret I discovered is that nature itself, my turtle god, whatever, is like really pissed at this city. And I have come
yeah,
here out of empathy to be like, let me help you because nature is gonna come kill all of you.
yes,
And
yes.
deep inside of
That's
me, I feel
very in
that
keeping with
rage
the
that
world.
that nature feels, and I'm like, when
Yeah,
I let it out in my rage, that's me being
yeah.
like, the anger of nature has come to murder everyone, like that kind of vibe.
Yeah,
That fit?
to tell you a little bit more about turtle people in this setting, the deity is sleeping most of the time, and there are people amongst your tribe that can, like that claim, you don't know if it's true or not, to discern its dreams, and therefore its will. And it could be that maybe you had a dream of his, like, unquelled rage at what is
Cool.
happening, and everyone else amongst your people is like, "No, no, he said that they, you know, like, and but you feel like, no, he's gonna wake up and he's gonna like come down the mountain and crush everybody because it is like an enormous god, you know.
All right.
But
Based
they all
on
think you're
that,
crazy because you're the only
Sure,
person
yeah.
that claims to have had this dream. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a hermit. I'm like out in the wild. I'm an old ass hermit out in the wilds. All right. I'm trying to hit all of the things you wanted, Bronze. I'm doing this for you. All right, here we go. You said names based on stone, old ass names. I would like to call my character Red Jasper.
Aww.
Is this shell gonna
Is he
be like
red?
a hue of red or like a
No,
glint
no,
of red?
he's like a brownish green turtle, and everyone asks him, "Why do they call you Red?" It's because he rages. And his eyes glow red. And it's gonna be amazing.
Okay.
I'm
I
very
love
proud of
him.
myself. I want to
I
let you
love
know.
him already. Does he have facial hair? Does he have like a long
It's
scraggly
moss.
beard?
He has a beard, but it's made of moss. Yeah.
Is it his
Hippie.
It's
though?
all coming together.
Him.
I'm
I
firing
love
all
him.
cylinders right now.
Old
I love
hippie.
him.
Old turtle hippie.
And he's just like super chill until it's time to kill. And then he gets crazy.
Super chill until it's time to kill. The legend
Old
of Red
hippie
Jasper.
We need a 70s era poster of him just like looking cool as shit. That'd be great.
I'm just thinking of like action movie, like cliche trailer stuff.
Yeah.
Nature is angry.
They told him he was crazy.
I'm
Yes.
currently
All
looking
right,
up
great.
instrument types because I have no idea what the fuck a takin is, or a thelar, or a tauntaun, or a yartling. What the hell is that? Why do I have all these instruments if I'm not going to play them?
I feel like you should just have a gong.
You can choose to have a war gong.
Yeah, just be like, hear
Okay,
ye,
because
hear ye.
I'll go flute, sham, and war gong. A sham is just a bigger, longer flute, and then I'll just have a war gong.
I'm a big fan of like Monty Python, and I love the idea that you just like write down stories of all the stuff Red Jasper does, and that's why you've been like hanging out with him for so long.
Oh, he's definitely a part of my stories. Yeah, without a doubt. Or most of my stories are about Red Jasper for sure. That's what that
Do you think you embellish them, or do you think you write them pretty faithfully?
Every story is going to be embellished to the nth degree. Absolutely. To fulfill whatever, needs, whatever the story needs to do in terms of whatever, in terms of the goal.
I love it.
Sorry, I didn't know what that was gonna do.
Unbelievable, Anna. We have to redo this
I don't know how
whole
this
thing
works.
because you just made a noise in
Start
roll
over.
20.
Wow.
We did hear Anne rolled acceptance and said, I am truly blessed and have power over the wind itself.
Oh.
Thank you for contributing, Anne. We'll check in 5 minutes.
That's
I love
nice.
that.
I don't know what it is.
For some reason, I heard that. Was that on my end or was that on y'all's?
I
end?
don't.
Did y'all hear the bing or was it just me?
I did,
Yeah,
but I don't know if
I heard it.
Yeah, I think I
And
heard
click
it.
another button.
I heard it.
I think it's
didn't
on
hear
your
that.
side
But
because
it's
I
everyone
barely heard it,
else.
not mine.
I'm better than
I'm
I
just
heard
hitting the roll button under my personality traits. I don't know what's happening.
You can choose those. You don't have to roll for them.
Oh, okay.
Oh, man.
So,
Like I was just like, I'm better than
Should I
everyone
be?
else.
What about my abilities? Do
that's what
roll them?
the
Or are we
question
doing
for
that?
bronze now is how are we
Mhm.
handling ability rolls? Do you want us to openly roll? Are we going to do standard array? This is I could swap over
I like
to this.
rolling. I like
I'll roll.
rolling.
I just don't want to be
but-
dumb as fuck because I've done that.
Yeah. Yeah. You do get an extra die pool though. So, because I am a nice person. So
You're
roll
a
7
generous
times and drop the lowest pool.
Okay.
So they have a button in the character mancer that says roll 4d6, drop lowest. I think That is
Yeah,
just
but
click
I'm
that
saying
7
like
times.
you can roll. Yeah, you can roll 7 times and drop the lowest pool, and that'll definitely, hopefully, none of you will end up with like 2 negative
Okay.
die pools because that sucks to have like multiple negative
Are
or at
you
like 0.
ruling that everyone must roll, or can they choose standard array?
I think we should all agree on what we want to do, if that makes sense. But I think it's best if like we all do the same thing.
Okay.
Just because
I love
you know.
rolling because it's content,
Same.
and
Live or
I
die by
don't.
the dice.
But Bronze, correct me if I'm wrong. The
Huh.
bigger question, maybe the one that maybe decides this is not necessarily going to be a like power gamey campaign, right? This is favor
No.
fun over difficulty.
Yes,
I think we all
yes.
roll. Then that makes me very much more confident in rolling.
Nope.
Jesse, you in for rolling?
Yeah. I've never done the rolling version, so I'm not clear on how.
You'll just click this
Yeah.
button right here if you look at the
I-
screen.
Yeah. No,
If
I
you-
definitely see it. I'm not clear how 46 ends up giving us like 15 strength. You know what I
that's
mean?
was
So with 46, it drops the lowest roll. So if you roll 4d6, it'll
Oh, and then I
basically
do that
be-
7 times.
Yeah, you'll do that 7 times.
Yeah.
One per
And then
stat.
you choose what goes into what category.
Yeah,
So I'm about to spam this.
those are your stats.
Yeah. Those are your stats, and
One more.
you can do one more because that'll drop the 8 or the 7 because you don't necessarily want an
Oh
8
God,
and
those
a
are
7.
really bad.
That's really bad. So that's why I always
But-
allow, and you can do it like this. You can do / roll 4d6, and then so you would drop the 1 there, so it would be a 6.
Yeah, if you want to.
God, that's a really bad roll.
That's also a terrible
Yeah.
roll, Bronze.
That is a fucking terrible
So
roll.
Jesse, click it one more time, or do what Bronze just did for your final roll to see what you drop. Oh. Are you clicking
Okay.
roll 46 and it's rolling 6?
Yeah.
So you could
Just
you
type
could just
it.
take the first one. You could just
Oh,
take
that.
the first one and count that as a roll. So you can replace your 7 with a 9.
Wow.
It's
Huge
not that
rolls.
much better, but it's not as bad.
You got a 17
Oh,
though.
So in
Yeah.
the actual thing here, it puts all those numbers I just rolled on
Can
for
you
me to
not
choose from. I can 100% choose, but
Oh.
I have to choose from that newest roll rather than the first one.
What happens if you click custom, like I just did?
I was gonna say, can you just
Yeah, just do
override it?
custom. And then you can just
Sure. Yeah. I can do that. Yeah, I can do that.
All right. Max, this is what Bronze did. She typed roll 40, 61. That right there. And it'll just do exactly what Bronze just did and drop the lowest one automatically. That
Drop
way
the
you
lowest one, yeah.
could just do that 7 times for your stats.
Oh, you want me to do that 7 times?
Yeah, for your stats. If you're feeling
I think it's
feeling lucky.
DL1, JP.
We can just test it here. It's not my stat. Yeah, that works. 4061. It dropped it. It dropped the
Oh, it
one.
dropped
Bronze,
it?
you would
Okay.
like it if I kept the first, the 17, 14, 11, 11, 8, and then switch out the 7 for a 9. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. You're gonna
Gotcha.
drop the lowest one because otherwise it's
Okay.
just a very brutal die pool for you to play the game with,
Understood.
and that's not
All right, how many-
fun.
I do this 6 times.
7 times, and you drop the lowest one.
7.
You can go 1 by 1 too for dramatic.
That's not
effect.
bad.
That's bad.
That's not great. That's not bad. That's pretty good.
Oh,
Oh, that's not good.
Oh, that's not what I wanted.
Oh,
There we go. Sorry.
Oh my God.
oh.
Okay, now
wow.
that's really bad.
See, this is why I allow you to drop one because that's mostly zeros, isn't it?
Max is so upset. I'm so sorry, Max.
Why does this always happen?
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, yeah, but you get one more and you can drop one of those 9s hopefully.
Yeah, roll again.
Jesus Christ!
But you're like a young goblin living your life.
It's that
That's
content,
so
baby.
many- That's so many negative ones because I think you have to have a 10 to be at a 0, right? Wow.
Yeah.
Great.
So you have 3 stats at -1.
That's awesome.
But
That's
you
so
have
cool.
racial passives to hopefully bump them up to 0.
As,
Yeah, I'm
as a
gonna need-
warlock, you want charisma and constitution.
Yeah. Yeah, you want charisma to be your highest stat for
Yeah.
sure.
God damn it.
So you'll just be a really likable goblin that's wet paper to shred through.
I'm not happy.
And you feeling confident?
Yeah, sure. Not
right.
really, but go for it.
Let's go
Yeah.
one by
Hey, you
one
know?
for dramatic effect. Hey, 11's good.
Oh,
That's good, that's good.
okay.
Okay. Good start. Not
Hey,
so
that's
good.
really bad.
Yes, good. More pain.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Good.
That's a 16, maybe if you get a +2 on your stat.
Oh,
Okay, middle of the roll. All right, that's a 7.
okay.
Okay.
That's not bad.
Well,
You
Okay,
get
so
one
that's
more.
6. So then I draw one more.
Oh my
God.
God.
Snake eyes.
Okay,
your
so
mom.
I get
Why'd
rid
you
of the
make this
7
list?
and I just have 2 8s. Is
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing standard array, right?
I'm so sorry, Max. You said you had bad rolls, but I did not anticipate
Yeah, no, I
3
do. I
negative
do have-
ones.
I do have bad
That
rolls
is-
typically.
All right.
That might be the worst rolls I've ever seen.
Don't tell
That's-
him that.
Do you know? Do
He's
you
gonna
know how many
stay with
times
that.
I've heard that?
That might be the worst rolls I've ever seen.
Jesus.
Because normally with the extra die pool in the 4d6 -1, most people have like maybe one thing at 0, one thing at -1. I've never seen like 3 9s.
Welcome to playing with me.
All right. Here we go.
Poor Max.
40, 61,
Whatever, I'll make it
7
work.
times. First roll. Okay. All right. I'm kind of
Oh,
liking this.
wow,
Kinda
okay.
liking
Dang.
this. Kinda,
Look at you.
That's crazy. That's fucking crazy.
pretty all right. Second roll. Fuck.
Good.
Oh,
Bring him back.
Good. You know what?
Bring him
Good.
back now.
Yeah.
Third roll.
Good.
Bring him back to Earth.
Okay. Fourth.
again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fifth.
Oh,
Oh.
Nice.
Great. Good.
The
Absolutely.
sixth.
More
Yeah,
of that.
sixth.
Give him a 7.
Okay.
Mm.
And
Okay,
the
that's
final
easier.
roll. Fuck. We all rolled terribly.
Yeah.
you started so strong with that 16.
I know. Well, everyone gets one big dump
Yeah, that
stat.
16 is nasty.
Yeah. That 16's my
Yeah.
charisma for sure.
I don't think Max has a single trait at 16.
Oh, God.
No,
he doesn't.
I got
You
15.
got a 15. That's close. That's close.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
So I'm
It's so
dumping one
terrible.
of those 8s. Okay. So I still have an 8.
Unbelievable.
Is anyone going to be
Jesse-
smart?
We have not discussed how good Jesse's rolls are though.
Are they good? I thought we all rolled poorly. Did he get?
I have
no.
two- I have two
Jesse
very
rolled
good-
really good.
I know he rolled a
I have
17.
2 good rolls, but everything else is kind of like
He has a
All right.
17, a 14, and everything else is like average. I think
Okay.
he only has
Yeah.
one negative attribute. Everything else
Well,
is
especially
positive,
looking at
least.
everybody else's rolls, his look amazing.
His look amazing. Yeah, he has like one negative die pool, I think.
Probably
my
not.
intelligence and charisma. My intelligence is 9 and my charisma's 8. So
Every time. So
Watch
I'd
out,
want to put
world.
that 15 to charisma, right? Obviously.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
your highest stat should be
Charisma is your
charisma.
most important thing.
Yep.
Unless you
Yeah.
have something that can. All right, just trying to think. Unless you have something that can bump it up to. That can make something cross over into like a +1 or +2 threshold, if that makes sense.
Yeah. See, I
'Cause
don't
I'm
know.
trying to.
If
'Cause as
you
a
know a good way
goblin,
to boost the numbers with some choices, I don't care if it fits the character or not. Let's do some
Yeah,
damage
let me look
control.
here.
I'll make it work. For
I'm trying to remember like
Classic.
what are your race benefits as a goblin?
Probably Dex and something else. If I had to
Looking
wager, should be in your race. If you click race at the top, Max, in the character mancer, it should just show you there.
+2 dex, +1 con.
+2 dex, +1 con. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So for the +1 con, because at 14 you get a +2. So I would put the 13 in con, and then you'll get a +1, and it'll turn into a +2 modifier from a +1 modifier. So I would put that there, and
The
then
13
I
in
don't.
Constitution.
Yes. And then ideally you would have a way to get +1 charisma, so you could get a +3 on that instead of the 15. We can look at
Mhm.
that in a second, because I think when you're. I think you get to choose. Hold on, let me look at the leveling tables. Look at me trying to power game.
Well, I mean, out of necessity, not trying to be
Yeah.
like
Yes,
it's
yes.
power gaming out of necessity and not because I want to be an overpowered piece of shit.
Yeah.
Damage control power gaming.
Oh, okay. Dude, I was so confused because
Because at
plaintiff.
4th level you get a ability score improvement, and you could turn that into a +3 modifier. I'm trying to see if you can get one before that. Because you haven't chosen your pact yet, right?
Yeah, well, I was gonna go either if that affects anything, obviously right now. I was gonna go between either it was gonna be the genie and then either fire or air.
Well, on top of that, as a warlock, after you get your patron, you also get a pact boon at 3rd level.
Oh.
And so that's like your patron has given you a gift for being such a good minion.
Mhm.
If you go Pact of the Blade, you'll be more melee focused, in which case that dex is like gonna be kind of important. But if you go Pact of the Chain, you get a familiar. Pact of the Tome, you get extra spells. So you might want to start thinking about that too. Just because then you
If you
might
have
want
a
to put.
recommendation, feel free to give it.
Well, what style do you wanna play? Because really you could go anyway. If you decide to go, like, mostly ranged Eldritch Blast, I would keep the highest stat in charisma.
Mhm.
And then eventually for your Eldritch Invocation, I would take Agonizing Blast so you can add your charisma modifier to your Eldritch Blast damage. That's what I would do. But Pact of the Blade, let me see here, because you can.
I just can't believe it always happens this way. Whenever I roll, I get excited. I get excited about rolling.
Hey,
Somebody rolls before me. I'm like, that's not that bad.
Max, what
Here
have
we go.
I
And it's
always
just-
told you?
What?
Gotta have
You
those lower
suck
stats.
and you'll never amount to anything?
No, you gotta have those lower stats so the character's more fun.
Yeah.
Because now when you go to
Yeah.
roll and you have a 7 as your strength and you can't pick up the dice, we're all gonna laugh at you. And that's gonna be fun. Right? Right, Max?
Yep. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Right? You can have fun, right?
Bronze, I have a question that I want to ask you,
Mhm.
but not have the cast hear the question.
Whoa.
You
Okay.
can message
Whoa,
it to me
you're
on
like-
Discord.
You didn't even have to say that.
Yeah,
Now we're
20
just
minutes
like-
ago,
I know, Jesse, it happens.
you were like, I don't want to keep secrets. But
No
also,
secrets. I don't think I want to do
But
secrets
this
this
could
time.
be this could be fun. Okay.
Ron, how old do turtles live in your world?
Oh, like forever.
I was gonna say,
So
would
I
think
can
they would
be
live forever.
a 250-year-old, 500-pound, 6-foot tall turtle.
Yes. Yes.
Great, done.
You live for eons.
Now, when you say so, I could be older. Like I could be like 1,000 years old.
1,000's probably the cap.
All right. Well, then I'm gonna be
I
600
would say
years
this.
old.
I would say the older you get, because in my mind, it's kind of similar to Vampire the Masquerade, in that the older you get, the more risk you have of just like forgetting who you are. You know,
Perfect.
like at that point,
Perfect.
sentience becomes like almost like a burden. Your brain starts dumping information, you know? So
Okay.
You might have like very poor recollection of what the first 800 years of your life were
You
like.
might want that.
Yeah, or the
I'll say-
reverse. It could be you remember that in crystal clear detail, but you don't remember what happened yesterday. It
Yeah,
could be
right.
whatever way you want to play it.
I want to get to the point where the newfangled stuff in the city I do not understand. Like it doesn't like wait, you ride horses? Like I want to get on that level where I'm just completely blown away by it all. So that's where I'll 600 seems like a right age.
Bronze, how do you feel about that DM?
This bastard.
If that's too much, say that's too much, and I'll figure something else out.
No, we can say that. No, we can say that's fine. Yeah.
Oh God.
All right.
You're kind of a
For
dick,
-1.
but
No. I tell
Without
say
even
no
knowing
because
what
that's
the
what I'm
secret
saying.
is,
That's why I DM'd it 'cause it's a
unsurprising.
bigger question. It's a bigger
kind
question.
of a dick. Mhm.
Say no if you don't want. If
no,
you don't
I
want
don't.
that in
I don't think it's too much.
there. Okay.
But I think people are gonna think you're a dick when it comes out.
But what if it never comes out though?
Yeah, then it'd be fine, you know.
Okay.
Jesse's face right now.
I gotta think.
I pressed good to go on this character.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Did it
And
work?
I'm just trying to like figure out how badly I've screwed up because just looking at the armor class right now, I know that as a barbarian, I have like an armor class buff of some sort, but it looks like currently I'm just armor class plus constitution, and I don't know how to fix that.
It should be your dex plus your con, I think, is a barb, right?
Oh, that's right. Well,
Yeah.
I have a 0 for dexterity because of my rolls.
Oh,
So
that
checks
be
out.
Yeah, that would be why. Yeah.
Yeah. You can go and
Okay.
change that stuff though. You can change your stats after you click
Yeah.
whatever on the
You
character.
can
I
make that a
literally-
positive one.
I have my constitution, and the only thing I only had 2 good rolls. Everything else was a 0 and a -1. So
Oh no. You know,
rough.
looking
Yeah.
at this though, Max, you don't actually have that many negatives. So if you put the 13 in dex, that bumps that up to 15. If you put the second 13 in con, that bumps that up to 14. And then if you put the 15 in charisma, then you only have intelligence, wisdom, and strength at negative values, which for a warlock is actually not that bad.
So I'm putting the 9, the 9s basically, right?
Yeah. That's where I would put them. I'm trying to think. You're not going to have a very good chance of making wisdom saves, but
Fine.
when people
Wouldn't be very
save
wise.
against your when people save against your spells, you'll be fine.
Okay. Every goddamn time. I swear, like every time.
And how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm reading through the like cantrips and stuff.
Okay, cool. I was just making
I'm
sure
trying to
you
think.
weren't stuck on
Actually,
anything.
you might not want your intelligence modifier to be negative because I think that'll make your spell save really low. Because I think your spell save is your proficiency plus your intelligence mod. Or no, because let me look this up because I'm
I
confusing
feel like I'm always a
myself now.
problem child in these things too because I roll so low, and then I'm like, "Well, can you help me? Can you help me?"
How do I level up on here in roll 20?
Change your XP value to whatever that is for level 3. Bronze, you know that off the top of your head?
Wait, no. Okay, never mind. I'm right because for Warlock,
One
your
sec,
save
Jess.
it's your spellcasting ability, which in your case is charisma. So it'd be 8 plus your proficiency bonus plus your charisma mod. So you don't actually for you, you don't actually need high wisdom or intelligence. And you definitely don't need high strength. But I
Okay.
don't know if you want to play a character with negative intelligence. If you're at 0, then you'd be of average intelligence. But that's just like a personal choice, really.
Yeah.
Just read Discord. I told you how to do it.
900, right?
Yep. Yeah.
It sucks playing it. It doesn't suck. It just changes the way that you have to, play the character if I'm at negative intelligence.
Yeah.
That's
Why
a
did I have
question
to
for
have
you,
3
Bronze.
9s?
If we have negative intelligence, are we automatically a dumbass? Like,
No. I would say no. I don't think you're a dumbass. I think people have like a how do I describe it? Like a basic misunderstanding of the attributes, because a 0 means like average, and a +1 is like, if +1 people existed in real life, they would probably work for Cirque du Soleil. Do you know what I mean? They're very above average. And a +2 is like a genius, and a +3 is probably one of the smartest people in the world.
Mhm.
But I think people tend to think like, oh, a 0 is bad. When really, like, no, a 0 is just you are on the same level as everyone else. A -1 is you could be naive. And for, like, let's say Max's character, it could be he's young, he's naive. He
Yeah.
doesn't know that much about the city. He hasn't been here long. Young people are especially not wise,
Yeah.
but you wouldn't be a quote unquote dumbass until you're like -2 or -3. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, that's when it's like, okay, so you really don't know like anything about anything. Stuff that's common knowledge is like completely lost on you.
It
So
could work with the character, yeah. As you explain it like that, having the -1, then I suppose for intelligence.
yeah, especially
It's just
for like wisdom, for it just makes sense for your character.
yeah.
Like, you're impulsive, you make brash decisions, you're impatient. Those are all qualities tied to like a lower wisdom stat. And for the intelligence, like I said, we could just play your character not as like, oh, this character is an idiot, but more as like, you don't know where stuff is yet because, you just haven't been around that long.
Mhm.
I think that might be coming from you, Bronze, by the way, that beep. Did you mute
Is
roll
it coming?
20
Oh my
sounds?
god, I'm bad.
Okay. I
I
figured it
think
might be.
I think I fixed it. I
Yeah.
think I fixed it. I'm so sorry.
No, that's just me chasing it down. Don't worry about it. I don't think I'm going to do what I messaged you, Bronze.
Okay,
Good.
fair.
Without knowing, good.
It wouldn't have bothered
dick.
you at all, Max.
Okay.
You would have
Well,
never.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's the thing about secrets is
the
you don't know.
Yeah.
That's the thing about secrets.
That's
I don't know if you know that. That's how they work.
how they work.
Hey,
Yeah.
Bronze. How old
Yeah.
would a Kenku be? Like, what's max age of a Kenku?
I'm 31.
The max is
In
like
my
31.
setting, I homebrew everything for like, if the max age is usually 20, in my settings it's 50, because I don't think characters are playable when their max age is like 12 years old or something like that. So your max age would
Right.
be about 50.
Okay.
And it's about the same for goblins. I think normally goblins have a lifespan of like 30 years, but in my setting it's like 50 to 60.
God, there's so many backgrounds.
That's where I'm stuck right now. Is looking up
Mhm.
I
backgrounds.
kind of just want to roll and see what happens. How many backgrounds
On
are there?
backgrounds, that might be another
I
way
started
to turn
things.
your to turn some of your stats positive.
That's what I was going to ask before I just.
Yeah, let me look.
I don't know. I thought backgrounds only mess with skills, like skill
Did they? Let me
proficiencies.
see.
It'll help with your skill rolls. I don't know if it'll help with your stat rolls, unless I'm mistaken.
Oh, no, you're right. You're right. It is skill proficiencies. Yeah, and tool proficiencies.
If I am in, I just want to see the difference of what it would do, because currently, I'm at level 3. Everything seems to be good. It looks cool. I rolled my terrible HP rolls. I'm trying to figure out if I can. Is there a way to go in and just switch Constitution and Dexterity and see what that does?
If you click the cog in the top right of the character sheet, you should see
I see that.
giant amount. Yeah, you should be able to change the stats on like the left-hand side of that somewhere. I'm not at
Okay.
that stage, so I can't
Yeah, I'm looking at it, and it's a lot of. It's like lets me add things,
Can
like
you-
add bonuses, like +1 and stuff, but I don't see
If you go to the stats on just your open character sheet, can you just change your stats there?
I was gonna say, I think you can just click here because you want to. Which ones do you want to
Oh
swap?
yeah. I see it. I see it. You're absolutely
Yeah,
correct. It's right on the
you
character
can
sheet.
just you can just
See what
click there
happens.
where I clicked.
Come on, that changes absolutely nothing about my armor class. Okay.
The
Cool.
other thing, Jesse,
Yeah.
as a barbarian,
Wait.
you might have to click the cogwheel and set it to barbarian for your AC. There might be an option specifically in Roll20 for your AC.
Interesting. Maybe that's why it's maybe that's why it didn't change. I don't know.
Yeah, because you're okay. So see here, it says. Hold on, let me look at your core thing here. Armor class.
Sure.
When you click on this, does it
I'll
tell
let
you?
you take control.
It should
Let me
not be
refresh.
13. That's actually that has to be wrong.
That seems very low.
Um,
Yeah.
Yeah, because let me see here. I don't think it ported in that you're a turtle. I don't think it did. Because you're
Don't they get like an inherent +2 or something for AC?
yeah. So you have a base AC of 17. Your dex doesn't affect this number, but you have
I
natural
see
armor.
that.
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
So you should just have 17. And then when you go into your shell, that becomes 21. That's what I was getting confused. I was like, yeah, it shouldn't for you don't
Right.
need dex as a turtle barb specific. Well, I don't want to say you don't need dex because you might need to dodge or whatever, but for your armor class, you don't
I
need
get
dex.
+4 when I go into my shell. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
that's lovely.
Yeah. So if I were you, I might want to put the higher number in con because that's going to boost up your base HP. Because when you roll for your hit points, it's the number on the die plus your con modifier. I don't know if you added that in. That might be why you only have 39.
Hmm.
I did. I just rolled a 1 earlier. I rolled my HP.
Oh my
So
god, I see that.
yeah. So that's where I'm
Ugh.
at mentally. A lot of bad rolls. A lot of bad rolls today.
You rolled a 1 and a 3.
He rolled pretty bad.
Yeah.
Wait.
To be
We roll
honest,
our
you're not
HP?
even supposed to roll for your first HP. You're just supposed to have.
Oh,
Did you
that's
know
also
that?
true. You get your max HP for your first
You get your
die,
max HP at level 1. So that's just a 12 plus 3. So your first yeah, you have 15,
Retcon it.
26,
retconned.
29 plus 6. You should wait. All right, I'm trying to figure out how you have 39.
I started with oh boy, I'd have to go back and look. I started with 15, 16, something like that. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm just doing what the machine tells me to do. I just press the buttons.
I think you might actually have less than what's here. Let me think cuz yeah, you would start by default with 15.
Right.
And then
Okay.
when you hit level 2, you go up by another 14. And then when you hit level 3, unfortunately you only rolled a 3, you go up by another 6.
Okay.
So it should be 36?
Okay. Great.
Yeah.
I'll take a 36. Oh wait, hold on. That doesn't change that shit. 36. Done and done.
An AC of 17 is like pretty baller
That's
for
pretty
a
high, man.
barbarian now. Yeah, cuz
Yeah.
barbarians usually have their AC's not typically that high.
Yeah.
So it's actually pretty good. You're pretty meaty.
Bronze, I did go with that background, but I don't know what it's going to be, so I'll tell you.
Okay.
Or it won't be what I messaged you, because I do think that is a lot. Also, if the character dies, then that just exists out there in the open, and that causes issues. For
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
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 1d6 plus strength. Sorry, I'm just like making sure you gave yourself all the bonuses where you need to give yourself bonuses.
Yeah, I'm trying to see. Barbarian has a bonus of some sort, and I can't remember what it is right now.
I'm sorry. What did you just say, Jesse?
Oh, just Barbarian has a bonus, and I just don't remember what it is. I clearly
Like a stat
it
bonus?
might. Yeah, for. I think it already figured in. I think it's for strength, and I'm
yeah,
not.
you should get +2 strength as a barbarian.
Yeah, all right, then I'm good.
Well,
I got a 17, and now I'm at 19, so that checks out.
I don't do classes. Let me look. I don't know if you get a stat bonus in your class. I'm looking at it right now. You have unarmored.
I'm trying to figure out if the turtle and barbarian bonuses stack.
For
Because
AC?
the turtle thing is, you have a 17, and your dex doesn't benefit it, but it doesn't say that your con doesn't benefit it. And
Which
for
would
the
make it a
unarmored,
19?
I'm trying to figure that out. And then for the unarmored defense, which comes with being a barbarian, your armor class equals 10 plus your dex modifier plus your con modifier. So I'm trying to think if those two things are like mutually exclusive or whatever, that you take one or the other. Because you're not like every turtle has an AC. Here's my logic. Let me talk through my logic. Every turtle has an AC of 17, just like a random one off the street. But you are a barbarian turtle. And it specifies here, your shell provides you a base of 17. Your dex modifier does not affect this number. It doesn't say your strength or your con modifier does not affect it. So you might have your con modifier on top of that, Jesse.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that comes down to DM ruling.
Yeah, I'm literally.
Here's my logic behind it before our patrons come for me, which is that this means even a wizard turtle would have a 17, right? But you are specifically a barbarian, which means you're a master
Nice.
of natural armor and natural defense. So I think you would get your con modifier, especially because as a turtle, you cannot wear armor of any kind.
So that would mean I have a 20?
Yes.
It's incredibly high.
Great.
That's
I'm not even gonna
that's
fight it.
my ruling.
Wow.
That's my
Just
ruling.
Not even
take
gonna
it.
fight it.
Take it and run with it.
Yeah.
We're done talking
You know
about
what?
it.
I rolled
Jesse,
some
as your
bad
consultant
HP
lawyer here, I'm
rolls.
going to say we're done talking about it. Move on.
Yeah, moving
I'm
on.
sure people
I'm
are gonna
finished.
be like, that's not supposed to be, but like, I don't know. To me, it makes sense because why as a barbarian turtle would you not have a higher AC than a
That makes
wizard
sense, especially if
turtle?
you're saying you can't wear armor of any kind.
You literally
Mhm.
can't wear armor. You're gonna be at 20 forever, pending
Great.
you like increasing your con modifier.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm
Cool,
sure there's
yeah.
someone that's going to be like, that's wrong. To me, it makes sense because if you were in plate armor, you would have something close to that anyway.
I'll
It's gonna
take
make
all
it
the
hard
mail
to
on
hit
that.
you.
It's fine. I have no responsibility, but I'll take it.
Also, here's the downside though. Jesse put a 0 in dex. Now that means if there's like a hellish rebuke or anything to avoid damage, like you're basically almost never gonna make that roll.
Yeah.
So the AC only protects you against like called shots, doesn't protect you against AoE. So
It balances out. Internet.
balances out.
It'll be fine.
I think it's fine.
Yeah, I
Especially
was
because with reckless attack, you have advantage against you. So like I think it's still
you are
fine.
absolutely on the exact same train as the internet, because I was just looking at this like forum discussion, and people are talking about this exact same thing, and a lot of the conversations, even this post, is like, it makes no sense from a realism standpoint why a racial AC and a class AC for a turtle wouldn't stack. So
Yeah.
like,
Especially
you know,
because I'm a big fan of rules as written. Rules as written, it says your dex modifier does not apply. It does not say that your con modifier does not apply.
Mm-hmm.
my favorite part is that
which it does not.
a reply to this was, well, it makes no sense that dragons breathe acid. It's a game.
Mhm.
Well, if it's a game, then you can make up whatever rules you want. It's your game.
Yeah, no, listen, I'm going rules is written. Rules is written. It says your base AC plus dex plus con for a barbarian. Your base AC as a turtle is 17. It is specified you cannot add the dex mod. It does not say you cannot add that con mod. So a turtle barbarian, my interpretation of the rules would be base AC 17, no bonus from the dex, but a bonus from the con. You happen to put a 3 or one of your highest stats in Constitution, which gave you a 20. If someone else had a 1, they would be at an 18. You know what I mean? So, like,
Mhm.
it's just your specific combination of stats gave you an armor class of 20.
Cool.
But you also have, like I said, no charisma, no wisdom, no
I have
intelligence.
a negative. I have
no
2
dex.
zeros, 2 negative ones. I mean,
Like, you have nothing else.
You
You're
know,
a
all that time
himbo.
you were alive, didn't develop your charisma at all.
Here's my question. How are you like 700 years old and you're not wise at all?
Saying
I mean,
a
How
lot
are
of
you not
sleeping.
wise at all?
I think this goes back to what you were saying about just as you get in like this whole Vampire Masquerade thing. I got older and I just forgot a lot of. I'm sure at one point I knew all the ways of the world, and now I've just kind of forgotten. I've been out in the wild for a long time.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Max, how are you doing?
I don't know what the hell I'm doing with my background.
Oh no. Okay, let me look.
What do
let
you
me look.
mean?
It's
are
everything
we
I click
stuck
on. I'm
at?
like, that doesn't make sense. Well, that doesn't make sense for him. Who's this
Where? What
withered
doesn't make
little
sense?
student? I don't know.
It's building the character.
Are you stuck still on class stuff or on background stuff?
No, on background now.
Okay. Okay. I mean, you could be a student at I think if we did the Strix. Yeah, because they have students in the game. So that could be your background. It's just a matter of what type of gin did you end up going with?
Fire.
Fire? Okay.
I was gonna go air, but it felt like fire was maybe a little bit more offensive and powerful sounding,
Yeah.
which made sense.
I rolled a 1 for my HP.
We're not doing that, right?
We're rolling for level 1 to
No.
2 and 2 to 3.
Oh, okay.
I did average. Should I do the roll again?
It's up to you. Or it's up to bronze, I guess. Do you care if we take one of the other bronze in terms of HP values for level 1 to 2 and 2 to 3?
Oh no. I think that's completely up to you. You can do average or you can roll it
Okay.
if you wanna. Yeah.
I'm gonna go average now that you're saying
'cause
that because my rolls today.
Yeah. The
Well, I rolled
upside
a
of
1.
rolling is you could potentially go higher, but it's a gamble.
Yeah. I gambled and
You
lost.
could get that 1 that JP
Not
just
a good-
got.
I gambled and
Not a good
lost.
day
Well,
for
JP and
rolls.
Jesse both got ones.
Well, Jesse's got redacted.
Got a 3. Bronze.
You got a
saved
redacted
me.
thing now, yeah. He's
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
because for level 1, you always get the max.
Yep. Yeah. So,
So
I got 9.
you're
But
rolling
now I've got
twice.
10 HP.
Once for level
Nice.
2, once for level 3. And you add your con modifier to both of those rolls.
Yeah.
So for level 1, you would have,
I'd
I
have
think like for JP, the hit dice D8. So you would have 8 plus your con modifier.
9.
And then you would have that 1.
So I'd have
for-
11. Right, because it's
Yes.
1 plus 1. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yes, 1 plus 1. And so then you get one
So-
more roll for level 3.
Is there anything background wise that makes sense for me here? That's my thing. Is like I
Yes,
click on a
there's
bunch of
a
these things and I'm
few.
just like, bleh, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, let me see here. You have a
Do you
few.
have like a Do you have like a scholar or something?
We do, yeah. So like they introduced the Strixhaven setting in D&D. So there's a few different students.
I don't see that on the
There are
drop
a few
down.
here, let me see if I can. They have a bunch of different backgrounds, I guess. So I should ask which one you think would be the one that fits with you most. there's Witherbloom, which is that you filled your childhood with rudimentary alchemical experience. This
That's
gives
the
you
one I was
skill
looking at. Yeah.
proficiency in nature, survival, and herbalism, which would be useful for this campaign in specific, especially because you have not the greatest stats in wisdom. This would help you get to where you might conceivably roll a success in those things.
Sorry,
The
we're all
other
laughing because
one-
Anne rolled 1 for her HP roll.
No!
I did average for the first one, and then I was like, all right, I'll roll for the second one, and I got a 1.
You've made a
I'm not
terrible
rolling for either
mistake.
of
You
those.
should have followed us.
Why-
Should've
why
done.
I want
is
this character to
everyone rolling
die. I'm
one?
done. Just, I'm over it.
You can always make a new character. We haven't played yet.
No,
JP, you're saying rolls a 6. That's
I
pretty
know, I
baller.
rolled a
'cause if you went
6.
with average, you would have had a 4.
Yeah, so it was 1 less than average. That's the way I look at
It
it.
kind of makes
I
sense
had
to go the
5 new
Witherbloom student.
spells. Oh my
I guess
god.
that was the one that I
Okay.
was looking at. The only one that I in the drop down that I saw, I was like maybe, and then also being able to cure wounds would be cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait, is
And you get an extra like language proficiency too from that.
hmm Maybe it's what are they speaking? Sylvan.
yeah,
Yeah.
me and Jesse are speaking Sylvan. I think Anne took Undercommon.
I also got something else too. I think
I took Undercommon as my
Dwarvish?
third. Or no, I went Dwarvish, Sylvan, and Undercommon were my 3.
yeah. When
Oh,
I heard dwarves were
damn.
in charge of the city, I was like, that might be useful.
That background gives you lesser restoration. That's like that's a crazy spell to get from a background. That's a
This
really
is
good one.
partly why I was looking at it. One, because I was like, okay, well, he was a student,
Mm-hmm.
and then I was looking that it gave me access to those spells.
Yeah.
I'll
No,
probably
like
go with that.
lesser restoration is not bad to have in your back pocket because I don't know if anybody else here has that, and that removes poison and paralysis.
Bronze was the College of Whispers that you were talking about earlier, right? Was there-
Those are secret dealers, so they're like spies.
what was the one that we were talking about? The one that was like College of Spirits. Is that not?
Should be in there.
Maybe
That's
we
crazy it
didn't.
is.
Maybe that was the one that we didn't add. It's
That's
not
from.
here.
I thought that was from Tasha's.
I'll look real quick.
Let me see if I can hit it. Oh, you're right. I don't see it. College of Whispers. Let me see what the source book for that is.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking up real quick. It is from. Oh, that's in Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft.
Oh, okay. Hold up. I can enable that real quick.
Okay.
Did you roll everything, your ideals, bonds, and flaws, or whatever?
No, I'm gonna just choose those at a later date.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go into it now.
I'm just curious to see what these things are. Some of them. I'm gonna just change them.
And I don't know how. What class did you go with, by the way, Anne?
Druid.
Okay, I don't know how power gamey you want to be, but or you just want to choose the spells yourselves. But there are plenty of easily accessible resources that rank all of the spells in D&D for your class. If you just do a quick Google, it can help make those decisions just to put things.
Yeah,
in front
I'll
of
link
your eyes.
one too. That is my favorite. Let me see. Here it is.
Oh yeah, and also the XP for, I think you already did this, but 900 is for everyone.
Yeah.
So that website I just linked, you can narrow it down. Like if you click on your subclass at the top, it breaks down all the spells by level, and it makes it like super easy to like see what they do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, try now, JP.
Okay, one sec.
Should be able to.
And then depending on how meta or power gamey you want to get, and you can click that link in Discord, and it ranks every spell that you have access to, and tells you a little bit about each one. But you don't have to do that at all because we're not. That's not the. Bronze has already stated it's not a power gamey campaign, so feel free
Yeah.
to go with
Yeah.
flair over or fun over usefulness.
Okay.
Let me hit the refresh and see if that fixed it. Bronze. I think we're kind of winding down. Just a lot of
Yeah.
decisions being made now for folks, which is fine if
I
that.
think a lot of it
comes
is
out.
just stuff to fill in the blank before
Yeah.
we.
Yeah, especially that should just come out and play. I'm already seeing, I think, at least Anne's name. We'll keep it secret till show. But that's cool. I like the name. Yep, I see it now. Bronze. There it is. College of Spirits. I kept my roll. Oh, that's a lot of choosing of stuff.
I can't figure out how you got your character sheet to be in dark mode too, JP. I can make everything else dark mode except the character sheet.
I don't know. I didn't do anything special.
Oh wait, you know what? I just toggled it on and off, and that made it dark mode.
There you go. I was just saying mine was dark mode as well.
I was like, why is everything in dark mode except the character sheet?
Wait, that's weird. I think I need to like redo my. Level up because it was like sticking with the old decision. Spirits.
Overall, I feel good,
There it is. Cool.
except for the rolls. That was terrible.
I'm just, I'm just looking at like Jesse's sheet, and it's like acrobatics 0, animal handling 0, arcana -1, athletics 6, deception -1, history -1, insight 0. Investigation -1, and then like he just has like these huge bombs.
Yeah, everything else is a -1, 0. I have a few 2s and then an athletics of 6, which is hilarious.
You are
I
the
don't-
least persuasive member of the party. I'm like trying to figure out how you persuade people to do things.
Yeah. Question for I guess the only question I have for you, Bronze, so far, I'll probably have plenty, but changeling, how old
Yeah.
am I?
Oh,
Old,
I would
old,
say it's
old,
probably a mystery.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm down with
you know,
mystery.
Yeah, it would probably be indiscernible, right?
Okay.
Because it's like you're from the Feywild typically.
Okay.
You could have an idea of how long you've been here.
In this city or okay. Cool.
Yeah,
That
living
works for
amongst the turtles.
me. And I'll figure out a name.
How do you think you look when you're not shapeshifted into a turtle?
I haven't I mean I have references at least from like what Wizards has provided, and that looks a little bit like Voldemort in a lot of ways. I don't think I look like
Right.
that, but that's the impression that I got. It's definitely something I will consider and think about. I don't know like how often I spend in like the quote unquote true form, because I don't think there's any I haven't read through it fully yet. I don't think there's any rules that I can't spend X amount of time in a certain form, right?
That was my
No.
curiosity. What's your limitation, if any?
I don't think there is one.
They don't. Yeah, you could literally be a turtle like all the time, and that it's interesting because it could be like, I'm curious in like how long you've been out of the Feywild.
Yeah. Yeah. I also kind of just want to start the adventure off with like, it's been 400 years that Red Jasper has known me as a turtle.
So was the secret
just revealed myself. And, like,
was the
that's how
secret
we
that you
start.
forgot? Was the secret that you forgot you were Fey and you believe that you were turtle?
Oh, maybe. I don't know. That's an interesting.
That
way to
would be
take it, too.
interesting too.
Yeah.
Yeah, because so like the big thing with changelings is they have like these masks, right? And it could be something that you just put on like when you're mad and you make it spur of the moment. But they do specify in the lore that sometimes, they develop identities and
Right.
personas around like a disguise. And so it's very meta because you're like role playing within a role playing game. It could be that you have been role playing this turtle for so long, it's like your most comfortable mask. And maybe you don't even
Yeah.
Who even
remember what
are
your
you?
OG face was like.
Yeah. I definitely I have very unformed ideas of like the history of what I've done and how long I've known Red Jasper, etc. But I definitely think me and Red Jasper will be
Red
crew.
Jasper.
yeah, we'll know each other for sure. He'll be aware of who I am. Probably a lot more so than I guess Anne's character, who I won't say.
It
the
very
name
much
of,
sounds
and
like an
Max's
old like
character.
TV show name.
Yeah, it does.
Like of a character.
Yeah.
Like Red Fox, Red Jasper. That's where my
Yeah, no, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah, typically, like, in a setting like elves, dwarves, anything like that usually lives for a few centuries. To me, turtles live double that. For you, I think it depends on how long you've spent in the Feywild versus in this world. I like the idea that time passes differently
Okay.
in the Feywild. So, if you've been here for a long time, maybe you've aged a little bit, but if you spent a lot of time in the Feywild, maybe you're still very young.
Yeah, it'll. I have to think about like what. Just thinking is character art wise. I don't know what I'm going to tell Dave to draw. If it's going to be like a turtle, and then there's like a mirror or something, and it shows
Oh,
something
yeah.
Could
else.
be.
Or,
Yeah.
yeah,
Or, like, the face is, like, actively changing or something like that. Like, it
Yeah.
could be, like, the face is half transformed into, like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
a humanoid face or whatever.
yeah. Some to consider. I will have to figure that out today though, and hopefully you guys can as well, and just shoot me a message in Discord of description of your character. You can be as verbose as you want. If you're not, Dave will most likely just kind of fill in the gaps. So
Mhm.
if you have any trinkets on your person or anything that you want to be visually shown in this art, feel free to include that.
So we can request special effects.
Special effects as far as inkings can go, yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm thinking like if he's raging, I want an explosion of flowers behind him. Is that possible?
Totally. Yeah. I don't know
What
how
a
he's going to draw that,
wholesome
but that's
little
up to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
RJ is such a wholesome little guy.
Yeah, he's
Old
looking out
RJ.
for nature, but he'll kill you if you, I don't know, cut down a tree, you're dead.
Litter.
Yeah.
He's like a really
Yeah, if you
intense
litter.
version of Smokey the Bear.
I feel like your
Only you
origin.
can
I
stop
just see a
forest
small little
fires.
turtle who's got like a buck tooth or something. He's sitting there like playing in the dirt. I don't know. And then someone like walks by and just tramples a flower bed, and you just get really
That's it.
pissed off.
Doesn't matter if it's a kid or doesn't matter if it's a child or an adult.
Yeah, yeah. Just it
dumb.
shows like a slow zoom in of the flower like slowly falling, and then it just cracks, and that's when it like has the anime thing happen
Right,
around
right.
Jesse's head. Oh Lord, that's great. That's great. So we got a barbarian, we got a druid, we got a bard, and we got a warlock. That's the
Mhm.
the first crew. And then we got to Blizzbear will also have a character creation that we'll do relatively soon, as he'll be joining us for a handful of sessions with this crew. That'll probably be sometime in the next, I would think, 2 or 3 weeks. But we can deal with that when we get to that time. But there should be a behind the scenes thing. Might just be me. Bronze might be there as well. We'll have to see how that works out schedule wise and what makes most sense there. But we'll get that.
What kind of druid are you, Anne?
Do you mean the like subclass or whatever it was called?
Mhm. I'm like curious.
The circle, right? Circle of stars, I think.
Ooh.
Oh, Circle of
Ooh.
Stars is
I-
fun.
I was trying to read it and I was like, I don't know what the fuck any of this means, but it looks cool. It
Yeah,
sounds
if you have any
very
questions for me, let me know. Circle
yeah,
of
I'm
Stars
gonna
is
read more.
super fun. I'll also say, like, in my experience, druids are also the hardest class to put damage on. Yeah, I have the most.
Damage on,
Yeah, they
like-
have like
Meaning what?
Like they're hard to kill.
The
In
takedown.
their
Okay.
base state.
Yeah.
So even if your HP rolls are low, I've just always found druids are
Yeah.
like incredibly hard to kill.
And if you are a what is that? Is it moon?
Circle of the moon where you
Bronze
can
were
get
like-
the HP.
Full
Yeah.
moon, yeah.
Where you can literally just whatever the one that just lets you change into animals is always super fun.
They're OP.
early on. That's so
Yeah.
silly.
Yeah,
Yeah, but-
because
yeah, there's
they're like impossible to
wild
kill,
shape.
like I said.
Yes.
Yeah, because your wild shape health pool is separate
Yeah.
from your normal health pool. So like if
Mhm.
you're down to 2 hit points, you can wild shape into something with a lot of hit points and then just keep on rocking.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Anyone got any other like lore related questions while Bronze is here about characters or anything that might influence your character?
No, not currently.
I
Yeah.
will say me and Bronze kind of chose you three is and Blizz as well to kind of help shape a lot of the world, right? Like Bronze doesn't have all the answers, and that's kind
Sure.
of the purpose for this is to create that stuff together. So
Yeah, like I
except for
thought
Jesse. Jesse can't create. He's
You
too
don't want
wild.
that.
He's too
I
wild.
I thought the mountain range turtle lore would maybe come up in 4 like sessions from now. And it's good to know that came up in the session 0 thanks to Jesse. So
Yeah.
Perfect.
the cult of the turtle is a core part of this game now.
We definitely have like a nature vibe going on though, with
I didn't expect that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
it's cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
just
love
didn't
that you
expect
said it's a city, and then we were all like, okay, so we're all nature related.
Yeah. She was describing it, and I was just imagining the like turtle and the like basically raven. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, we'll make it work.
Oh, that's right. You're a kinku. I keep going back to like
yeah,
elf or something. No, but you're a bird person. Okay.
bird
I
person.
love
A
that.
bird that can shapeshift into constellations.
Wait, is that what
Yo.
the circle of
Yeah.
the stars can do?
Yes,
What does
they
that
can
even-
shapeshift.
What?
So wait,
It's
she just
crazy.
like flies
I don't
off
know.
into the
Fuck
dark
Earth
of the night
somehow.
and becomes
Fuck.
What does that
constellations.
even mean?
So they can
I'm
turn
outta here. I'm
into
the
a
Big Dipper
starry
now.
form. They can turn into like a starry form, which is a constellation. They get to choose what the constellation is, and each one is very good at different things. So like
Wow.
one of them can heal, the other one's really good at range damage, and then the last one like basically turns you into the constellation of the dragon. And whenever you make an intelligence or wisdom check to maintain concentration on a spell, you have a minimum of a 10. You can't ever roll anything lower than a 10. So like
Damn.
But like
Yeah, the
visually, what does
dragon's
that
like-
look like? What
Yeah, what does that look like visually?
Well, that's
I
that's
took
for
it from
Ange,
too.
Is it
right?
like-
And
Is it
Ange
like a
Man.
darkish sort of cloud with like,
You
you,
should,
know,
if you-
twinkly bits?
And if you can think of that today, you should include it in your character description. I'm sure he would love to draw the constellation in the sky of your character art. That'd be sick.
Yeah. Well, now
Is it
Max,
like
now
that-
you know what I mean when I said I was reading about the circles, and I was just like, I don't understand what is
Yeah,
happening.
that
Like-
makes a lot more sense.
yeah,
You turn into a constellation. What the fuck?
I know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
It's like it's one of my favorites because like it's versatile. Like if you're Circle of the Moon and you turn into a
Yeah.
bear, you're always a bear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you're Circle of Stars, if you need healing, you go for the Chalice constellation. If you need damage, you can go for the Archer constellation if you're out of spell slots. If you want
Mhm.
magic damage, you can go for Dragon. So like it's
That's
like
pretty cool.
probably one
Yeah.
of the most because the cool thing, not to get super nerdy, but the cool thing about the Chalice form is when you heal someone else, you also heal 1d8 plus your wisdom mod. So you can like
Ooh,
heal the
wow.
rest of the party while
Wow.
also healing yourself. Yeah.
That's
It gets
sick.
it gets pretty crazy. Or you can heal yourself and then it stacks on you too. It's like whenever you do a healing spell, I'm pretty sure. So like it basically doubles the healing value of your healing spells when you cast them on yourself.
I picked a lot of
Maybe it's
healing
like
stuff,
a
so
maybe it's like a symbol or a glow, or I guess you don't have to be a constellation, right?
No, it's
No, you're-
completely up
And
to
your
him.
constellation.
And
You're
you're
a
a
bunch of
gaseous
stars.
You're actually several stars.
Yeah.
You get to determine what your starry form is, but it's kind of cool.
Cool. Well, I
Look
think
at all this. We have people connected to nature, connected to the Feywild, connected to the stars and the moons, and then we have a college dropout.
we got a college dropout over here who has shitty roles. Jesus,
who has a
look at
debt
this.
Satan.
Look
Who
at
has
this
a debt to
sickly
Satan.
being over here named Blibble. Oh my god.
That's me.
I honestly feel like Blibble should be the leader of the group.
I
Yeah.
think so too.
I'm
I
fine
think
with
so
it.
too.
Yeah.
Like he's the one who's
Yeah.
brought us all together.
Oh man.
We're like the
All right.
shitty Avengers.
Are you Blibble's only friends? I feel like yes.
Well, it also, I mean,
Friends
yeah,
is a strong word, but
it
Yeah,
might
yeah.
make sense. Fair enough. It might make sense too because he's like this cocky.
He sees
He knows the way.
Yeah,
He'll figure it out.
he sees he sees what everyone else doesn't see in us. Is what like he
I also
sees
feel like
Fred Jasper as the badass he is.
I also love
also
the
feel like-
idea that instead of being in someone else's crew, like instead of being a member of somebody else's crew that's like a really good crew, you would rather start your own and be the leader. Like
Yeah.
I could see that for your goblin of like, oh, I could go join this team that's a great team and just be another member, but I would rather start my own team and be like the king of the noobs, you know?
it makes sense that that you would be given the shit job with the crew no one wants because like all the misfits, and they're like, yeah, go, sure, yeah, you're in charge, and then they send you out to go do like the lamest, worst job. It makes perfect sense.
Yeah,
The
go
boring job of collecting floral samples, except like
go
Red
pick up some
Jasper's like,
dirt.
oh God, I love floral
We're gonna collect the
samples.
shit out of
love
these
them.
floral samples.
We get to go pick flowers. Oh my God.
I could see Red
But there's
Jasper.
a way to pick them.
Yeah,
a
exactly.
way to
That's
pick
what I was
them.
about to say. Red Jasper is very
Whoa.
anal about how he picks up the flower and makes sure not to like harm the roots.
Yeah,
But wait,
Okay.
what's your
it
intelligence
takes like
though?
twice as long.
Isn't your intelligence really low?
-1. Who, me or him?
No. Oh, wait. Are any
Mine's
of us?
bad,
Hold
too.
on.
We're a
Is
bunch of
anyone
stupids in
smart
here.
in our group?
my
Listen,
intel's
I'm
2.
just
My wisdom's
naive
2.
and not wise.
Oh, yours
Useful.
+2, Ann, on both of them.
Really?
Yeah. I get
Oh,
that's
+2
good.
to intelligence, I think, for
Nice.
something.
Oh, damn.
Okay, so Anne's smart enough to guide everyone.
Man, this
Why
is
Why-
did you
just.
hear
yeah.
you stupid too?
I don't think I'm. I don't think I'm dumb. I think I have 10. I think mine's 10.
Okay, so you're
We
at a
just
0?
confer with the smart bird whenever we need it.
Yeah, we basically look. We're all just playing ourselves at this point, right?
Yeah.
That's all we're doing. We're just gonna
Just ask
ask Ann.
Anne's character for help.
Yeah, just ask Ann to solve
Ever
everything.
need to
for us.
investigate anything, need history knowledge.
Yeah.
I don't know
Listen.
how y'all are
Yeah.
gonna get out of the city. Actually, no, Anne will be able to do it. But I don't, because I'm like, will they be able to figure out how to leave the city with a bunch of zeros and negative
Well,
ones?
hold on.
You
You said
How do we
okay,
get
bro.
out?
You can't
Just
give this
zero.
like
You can't
incredible,
backpedal now.
incredible way to discern intelligence in D&D. One that I've never like thought about D&D.
Yeah.
As. And
Then,
now you're
then
just
at
like,
the end,
I don't know
y'all
how
is
they're gonna get out of
dumb.
the city. These dumb fucks. What are they gonna do?
They're so stupid. They don't know how to use doors.
They just walk up to a door. They're stuck.
Dumb.
It's 6
Yeah.
weeks of them in a room of doors.
Oh my god!
All right.
I feel like Red Jasper will definitely forget how to open a door.
There are no doors in the wild. This is
True.
new to me.
God damn it! Don't make this a character trait. Jesse.
Oh, it is now.
he's never seen a
Oh
door
my
before.
God.
He's
I
never
can
seen a
already
door.
tell this man's gonna drive me crazy with. We don't have toilets in the wild. We don't
You
have
just go.
holes in the wild.
Walls make no sense to me. I don't understand the concept of living in a building. I don't get it.
I'm really kind of leaning towards this idea that the campaign starts and I revealed to Red Jasper that I'm not actually a turtle. Like I kind of just want that to be
We want to see that heartbreak.
the
That's
thing
so
from the jump of
sad.
the show is just
Yeah.
like boom, not a turtle. Oh, Jesse.
I would
think
love
that's
the
fun.
idea that you've told this to him like on 8 different
He
occasions.
forgets?
and
I've
over
forgotten
time,
every
he
time.
just You
We've
have
had
to,
this
like,
re-
break his heart again,
Oh,
like every
no.
10 years or so, like
Either
every 20
willfully
years, like,
That's
or
really
just
good.
I'm a
by.
turtle.
We've had the reveal
He's
happen like
like,
20
"What?
times throughout the
No!"
500 plus
Yeah.
years we've known each other.
Every time it's just as
Yeah.
heartbreaking.
Yeah, he
Oh.
cries, rips his shirt in rage and sorrow, and then the next 10 years later, you have to do it again.
I'm jotting this down.
I'm purposely forgetting.
Yeah.
I don't want to just hit me with whatever you got. I'll go in fresh.
Oh, I'm aware. I'm aware. That's how it's always been.
I love this.
Countless.
I love this.
Okay,
This
great.
is already such a great party. I'm so excited to DM for y'all, and
I'm excited.
I
It's gonna
love
be
that
fun.
the
Yeah, me too.
first expedition is an exploratory one because we get to see more of the world other than this dingy city.
I'm
Yeah,
glad.
I'm
I'm
stoked.
glad that you like built this great city that I know things about that they
First.
don't know about. And they're like, all right, we're leaving the city.
This is why I told you I never do excessive prep prior
Right.
to a session 0 because
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
much rather write stuff people are interested in and
See
excited
where it's
about
going.
than,
Yeah.
than,
Mhm.
like shoehorn you into like one direction. That's like of no interest to me.
Yeah.
If y'all
It also
wanted to
means
be
too,
like
then the work
a
and
bunch
prep
of
you do
detectives.
is more useful, and
Yes.
rather than you're
Yeah.
like, well, you guys aren't gonna. You could go there. Spend a lot of time on that.
Yeah. Well, then I
Pretty cool.
guess I guess question for you then, Bronze. Does Max's character, does Blibble, Jesus, know
What? His name is Blibble.
Okay, no, I'm just getting used to saying it. Does Blibble know the like how things work? I guess is
Yes.
okay.
Yes. And I'll
Yeah.
probably be sending you a document over the next couple days max that kind of I'll probably send it to all of you that has like pertinent information to what you yourself would definitely know. And ultimately you'll all be very good at different things because to go back to what I was saying, even with a 0, like your
Yeah.
character would know certain things, right? So
Right.
like although sadly Jesse and JP probably actually don't know how to get out of the city. This is probably the first city you've ever been to.
I speak
And
Dwarvish.
they're
I've been to
in
the
the
city.
city.
I've been in and out of the city. I speak Dwarvish. I know some peeps.
Okay, so maybe JP would know. Jesse would not know.
But I didn't. If I shared
Be
that with Red Jasper,
completely lost.
he doesn't remember. He doesn't know.
He doesn't remember.
I've probably
You
told
just
him
tell me-
countless
just say it
times
again.
of the city. Yeah.
Just
It's-
say.
Oh my
yeah.
God! I just
I-
realized. I tell I don't tell or play music. It's all through stories. So Jasper's
Yeah.
heard the same stories for 500 years and he never gets tired of them, even
Yeah.
though
I
they're the
love
exact
them.
same stories.
Because they're like brand new.
Tell me again.
That's why I'm
Aw.
friends with Red
This
Jasper.
friendship is like freaking beautiful, though. Like you're
Yeah.
so perfect for each other.
That's right. That's right.
This is really good.
Jesse, were you gonna
Blibble's
say
like
gonna
something?
come in and
first
get
time for
tired
him
of hearing the
every
same
time.
goddamn story over and over again.
That's right.
You
Oh
could
my God, I
probably
can-
tell him stories about himself, and he wouldn't know that it's about
That
him.
happened? Did I really do that? Yeah, you were.
Oh
You
no.
were there. Yeah, that was you. Wow.
And who will know if the stories are true?
It's true.
I can just imagine the third time Blibble will try to stab one of you if he has to hear the same story.
Tell that story
Three
one more
times.
goddamn time.
If we, JP, you must every time we take any sort of rest, tell the same story over and over and over, and I will just be like enthralled and just
Wait.
keep saying it.
Jesse, I've been planning for this on MCU Crew. I've asked you guys to get tickets
No,
every show. I've
No,
done.
it's not
the
I've
ticket
told the
thing.
story
It's not the
about
ticket
how
thing.
time
It's-
goes faster.
Yeah, if you could just say about time going
That's
faster.
one. I was gonna say I am Blibble on MCU Crew because I have heard the two of you motherfuckers talk about. Well, the older you get, the frame rate of your eyes change, and you perceive time differently. And every single time, I want to rip my hair out and scream because we've had this conversation like 40 times. It's
But like,
not
did
once,
you know?
Did you
not
know
twice,
though,
it's like
Bronze?
40
Like
times.
as you
Yeah,
get
were you aware
older,
of that?
that
I'm
time
interested.
passes faster. It's wild. It's a fascinating
Because
scientific.
the frame rate of your eyes
Yeah, it gets worse.
is actually much slower.
It's all accurate.
Oh,
You know that, Blibble?
That Blibble.
The first time you hear it, it's like, oh, interesting. The fifth time you hear it, it's like, shut up. Shut your damn mouth.
Drives me crazy.
All
And I
right.
know
no.
you do it on purpose because it drives me crazy, and I still I have to feed the trolls every time because it just drives me crazy.
It's true. Well,
I'm
now
excited.
We're just carrying
Bringing
on
it
our
back.
bullshit to this. Great.
Mhm.
That's how it goes. Homework for you guys. Finish your characters if you aren't already done. If you have questions, Bronze and I, and as well as everyone else, are hanging out in that Discord. Feel free to ask
Mhm.
questions. And by end of day today, if you can, because it is going
Some
to
sort
take
of
some time.
description,
Be as wordy as you want. The more, the better, so he doesn't have to fill in the gaps of what your character looks like. Anything that would be on your person, any type of garb that you're wearing. If you have reference images, you can go that route as well. Literally anything to help aid in the creation of your character's art. And we'll have that done by hopefully, definitely by Wednesday. We should have everything uploaded time lapse wise as well, so you guys can watch that. I say time lapse, but I don't think we're going to speed them up. Bronze's art that was made was about an hour and 20 minutes of inking that we have in full videos. So if you're a
Mhm.
patron, you can go check that out. I think that's at the $10 tier. I forget. Anyways, anything else you guys want to throw in here before we wrap?
Nope. I'm excited.
Okay.
All good.
Crew 1. Are we doing the whole like name your crew thing, Bronze? Or is it just crew
Name your
1?
crew.
I feel like you're naturally going to come to one over the course
Yeah.
of play. And it'll be
Okay.
something that we never expected, like Boulder Boys, because a boulder crushed all of you or something at
Yeah.
one time.
Nature.
This is how it always goes. Like the name is always something like, just like French Toast Club because you all like French toast or something.
It's the
I
nature
don't know.
hobos. The homeless druids. I don't know. We'll figure it out. All right, that's it. We're out of here. Thank you to you guys for joining us here for the first. This is the first content we've ever made under the Last Call for Adventure moniker. So it's a thing. We did it. It's a real entity. We'll play next Wednesday. First show. We got to get everything in order. It's soon. We're out of here. Thanks for watching. Have a good one. Bye bye.